All right, all right, all right. Let's get into this. This is gonna be a pretty interesting stream slash podcast episode. We're gonna see how both of them intertwine. But for the most part, I think this is gonna go well. But first, let me go change. There we go. I need to change my YouTube banner because I have one specifically for this. So I'm gonna go change that and then I'll be ready. So yeah, give me 1 sec. I'm gonna change this and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm pretty sure I changed it. Let me see. Now that's all left to do is bring up the rest of the things we had. What is this? Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. I have all the things pulled up I need. I can take that off. Alrighty, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, first, you know what we gotta do. Gotta look over on Twitch, see who's all over there. For people tuning in live, just know that this is going to be an episode, episode 114. My first episode since switching over to Red Circle. Just needed another host, because in general for Anchor and Spotify, that whole situation in the beginning was fabulous. But you know, as all rappers can attest to, you know, sometimes they try to put you in a 360 deal. They try to pull some strings, and then you can't really do what you want to do over there. So I had to leave. So now we over hosted on Red Circle, but I'll explain it again when I get into the podcast episode. But as well, also make sure to follow my social medias in the bottom middle. YouTube, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter have been producing some definitely viral videos. So I definitely appreciate the support over on those platforms. As far as who's on Twitch, let me see. Okay, we have some returners. 01 Ella, Drap Snat, and Kata. I think those are all returners, so I appreciate y'all for coming through. Of course, you have the restream bot. I mean, you know, that's kind of like Plankton with I forget what the computer's name was in SpongeBob, but you know, she's always there. So the restream bot is just, you know, just a robot. But for the people tuning in over Twitch, I definitely appreciate it. Let me see. For the people over at YouTube, I can't read off your names because YouTube doesn't show me. So if you want me to read off your name, I would suggest following me, or just follow me on Twitch, because it's more interactive over there. Not like in general, but I'm just saying, like, as far as right now, I'm able to read your name and all that type of stuff. So but yeah, all the different platforms really have a lot of nice traction, so that's good to know. What else? Okay, yeah, let's get into it. So in general, okay, let me turn off the music because I'm about to get into it. So in general, the live streams go like this. So most times I'm playing games and just talking about hip hop or pop culture or just gaming. And for this one, it's going to be a very specific episode because it's a hip hop recap. So in the midst of this, it's gonna be pretty formulaic. I have a lot of different things I want to say, and then I'm gonna lay them out, and then I'm just gonna give my opinion, of course. But the live stream is like a more of a spontaneous type of event. So for this episode, if anybody wants to comment or say or give their 2 cents about the episode, I would prefer it to be on topic, but if not, when I get done with the segment, I can always come back and address that comment. But for the most part, I gotta stay on topic because when this goes out to Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Stitcher, all those other platforms, they're gonna be like, who is he talking to? So I'm definitely gonna explain it throughout the episode. But for the people listening to the live stream, y'all probably be a little bit confused on why I may not be as interactive. So what else? Let's see if any more people join over at Twitch. Okay, we still got the same returners. That works for me. Okay. So yeah, basically I'm gonna get into the whole episode, and then guess what? Hopefully we get into some hip hop opinions that won't get us I definitely won't get us canceled because we're not saying anything too crazy. But you know what I mean, won't get my hip hop card revoked. So anyways, I'm pretty sure I still know how to work everything. So yeah, let's get into it right. Once I bring up my soundboard, hold up. I do need my soundboard. Okay. Where's the record? Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. All right, so I'm about to get into the episode 114 right now. Oh wait, hold up. Should I put the thumbnail over this? I think I'm gonna put the thumbnail over this. I mean, I made it. I might as well try to put the thumbnail over the Hold on, let me see how this looks right quick. Cause I do have this thumbnail made specifically for this. I'm not even gonna use this as the episode cover. Like I'm gonna use a whole different thumbnail. So, um, let's see, bring it over here. Can I close this? Why is this showing other pictures? There we go. I do not. I don't. I do not think that's how it goes. Let me see how that looks over here. Does it look ugly? Kind of looks ugly. File, create, save as image. Why can't I just get the image by itself? Okay, give me a second. I definitely want to work with the Okay, MC open with Paint 3D photos. That still shows the overlay. Let me see if I can open with. Let's do Paint. No. Let's just open it. Okay, cool. Let's make sure it's not. Wait till I see this. I am doing some on the fly just wizardry right now. I'm not even saying it's good. I'm just saying, hey, it's there. Let me see. Wait till I see this. It's so funny. I really think I'm doing something right now. All right, let me see how it looks on the main page because this is ridiculous. All right, let's click. Oh no, go back, go back, go back. Okay, I guess that's the best thing we can get right now. Cool. Let's just run with that. Okay, let me show y'all what I'm working with right now. Now tell me, is this ugly? Hold up, I don't even know if y'all can see that yet. How far behind is this stream? Hold up. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's ugly. Whatever, we gonna keep that up there. We're just gonna keep that up there. All right. All right. Let me see what else. But I wanted to get into something else. I think that's it. Okay, I have my other stuff. Okay. All right, so I'm getting to the episode now. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, of course, I'll try to address them during the segment if it's on topic. If it's not, I'll definitely address it after the segment, and then I'll just get back into the episode. So without further ado, let's get into it. What's going on, Internet? Analytic here, aka Dreams, and I'd like to welcome you to mine, which I call the Notorious Mass Effect Podcast. I am your hip hop slash gaming news source with a little. Hold up. We're definitely doing that over. I don't know if I want to record this whole thing or just download it when it's done. I'm probably going to record this because this is more of like a streamlined episode. All right. My bad. Now let's start. What's going on, Internet? Analytic here, aka Dreams, and I'd like to welcome you to mine, which I call the Notorious Mass Effect Podcast. I am your hip hop slash gaming news source with a little bit of R&B mixed in for episode 114. Okay, let's stop right there. Stop right there. Okay, hold up. This is why the whole live aspect is kind of entertaining because you get to hear me stop and start and start and stop and all that type of stuff. Let's take R&B out because at this point, like I don't know, a little R&B mixed in. I do mix in R&B, but as far as this episode, it's about like just straight hip hop. That's very interesting. Okay, top 5. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Top 5 tracks. Okay. Also, my things are not lined up. Don't you just love editing on the fly? Isn't that just like it's just the best thing ever? You know, this whole like content creation thing. It's just so smooth until it isn't. You know what I mean? It's just such a smooth process until it's just a bumpy road. Like the road in SpongeBob when they was trying to get away in the burger car. I mean, don't tell me why. That's the only thing that pops in my head. But you know, the SpongeBob movie is kind of a classic. Anyways, all right, let's run this back. I'm gonna keep the R&B in because I do talk about R&B, and I mean, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but let's just say I do have some R&B projects ranked higher than some hip hop projects. Actually, all of them. Anyways, let's keep going. All right, yeah. Okay, so for the people tuning live, just just hey, erase that from your brain. If for the my people over at YouTube, Twitch, just know that this is part of the live process. All right, let's get back into it. Let me see if I can find this. Okay. All right. What's going on, Internet? Analytic here, aka Dreams, and I'd like to welcome you to mine, which I call the Notorious Mass Effect Podcast. I am your hip hop slash gaming news source with a little bit of R&B mixed in. Before we get into the episode, of course, it's been a while since I made an episode. It hasn't been a while since you heard my voice. I've been reviewing tracks. Of course, I'm always recording, but for the most part, I kind of dialed it back on episodes, mainly solely for the fact that I don't know if it's the audience over here on the podcast platforms or if it's just a whole new audience. But let's just say TikTok, Twitter, YouTube has been generating some viral videos in itself as far as my brand on that app. So in general, I try to focus on those applications more. And that's why if you're watching the video version over at YouTube, which is the live stream, or at Twitch, you will see in my bottom middle, I have all my social media streamlined so you know where to catch me and the daily content that I'm putting out. Because right now, I think I'm doing the best job I've ever done with Notorious Mass Effect with streamlining different apps in the content I'm putting out. So if you watch me on one app, it's easier to find me on another because it's right there in front of you while you're watching the video. For example, let's pull Christian Rock out because this is my best music of 2022. So I'm not gonna harp on this fact too much. But okay, what's a nice video I can use right quick? Because in general, I think you need to see what and of course, if you listen on audio version, you probably don't know what I'm about to pull up. But for the most part, I mean, people on YouTube and Twitch will be able to know, exactly what I'm talking about. But for the people over at, of course, audio, you probably won't know. So anyways, let's do Blueface and Christian Rock in The Wedding, right? Look at this right here. So this would be an example. This would go out. Hopefully, y'all can see it, right? Yeah, y'all can see it. Okay, so this would go out to TikTok, Instagram, and what's the other one? TikTok, Instagram. Oh, and Twitter. Twitter and TikTok's really the ones that they be going viral. But basically, I'll put something out like this, right? And then you see in the bottom middle, all those social media apps are where you can find me on other platforms. So I feel like that's been helping out other. I feel like that's been helping out the brand on other platforms the most. Just streamlining the content in a way that if you catch me on one app, it's easier to know where I'm at on others. So that's what I've been doing. That's why I haven't been putting out as many episodes. But of course, I still have y'all on the content as far as reviews, episodes, and stuff and things of that nature. I just had to get the ball rolling on these different applications because I'm not gonna lie to you, I still haven't figured out Instagram. But as far as TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, I would say we're doing pretty good right now. I mean, I would bring up my analytics. I don't want to show anything crazy like how to get into my account, but if I can just show you how, or just basically the sheer numbers that we're putting up right now on YouTube is pretty insane. I mean, if you go to my YouTube right now, Analytic Dreams, you'll probably understand what I'm saying. Or if you've already followed me, you probably understand what I'm saying. But just the sheer scope of how my YouTube just took off in such a short amount of time. And I say take off relatively because, of course, my podcast is where most people come to listen to me. But as far as my content, when I put out clips and stuff of other people's interviews and just different interviews from hip-hop artists. Okay, I was like, my laptop is not loading this YouTube. YouTube always takes the longest to load. I don't know if it's because I do get a lot of notifications now, which I guess is a blessing, a curse, but it's always like notifications are always popping up now because of my YouTube, and I'm telling you, it's doing pretty well. Which that's what I'm trying to bring up the basically the analytics so y'all can see. I never tried to hide what I'm doing. One thing about being transparent with your supportership, your listenership, your supporters, let's just say supporters, is you have to let them know what type of effect they're having on your life. And this is what type of effect y'all having on my YouTube life right now. I mean, I think y'all see the amount of numbers in front of your face right now. Of course, this is for my YouTube and Twitch listeners, but if or in watchers, but if you're only listening to the audio version, just know that we've been putting up 2.2 million views in the past 28 days. And these are just the past 28 days. It's not even counting the whole thing. 35.8 thousand hours as far as watch time in the 28 days. 4.8 thousand subscribers in the past 28 days. Let me just say, we've been going crazy, and here are the numbers to show for it. It's one of those things where I never like to just talk about it because a lot of people be capping. It's just like, I listen to a lot of rappers and a lot of entertainers, and what I realize is this whole art form is full of cap. Like, people will say something and that'd be totally false. I was flabbergasted. I was bamboozled. I thought all these rappers was out here just putting up numbers, actually being talented. But nah, most of them be capping. So, if I was a capper, I would have came on and be like, hey man, we got like, obviously you see the subscriber count I can't really, lie about that. But if I was like, hey man, we getting like 10 million views per video, you know what I mean, 5 million comments, like this obviously cap, right? Rappers would literally cap like that, like they were like notoriously. We're gonna get into the episode soon, but we're 6 minutes in, so I'm doing pretty good on time. Um, let's just bring up Blueface again. Blueface said something about him having more money than a internet content creator, which is of course everybody knows DJ Academics. And then Academics literally brought up his house being foreclosed, which was an actual fact. Because you can look up these type of things. DJ Academics is borderline a FBI detective himself. So he looked it up, and his house is in foreclosure. So guess what he was doing? He was going to buy the house. It's stuff like that that's just like rappers lie about obvious things that you can look up. So that's why whenever I talk about my podcast and the success I'm having right now, I try to show y'all the numbers along with how I'm feeling, because I feel like that's just a transparent type of avenue that you need to have with your supporters. I don't like to say fans, like listenership, supporters, stuff like that, because I'm a fan of y'all. You know what I mean? Without y'all, this would be much harder to enjoy doing, like just simply because it'd be like nobody's listening. You know what I mean? But as far as my podcast, my different platforms I post on, the different opportunities that's coming, like after the whole Anchor Spotify deal, which I don't even know if I got into that. I got into that with the live stream. But basically, this is going to be a long recap because I haven't put out an episode in a while. But fast forward if you want to just get to the hip hop recap. For the people listening after the fact. For the people listening live, hey, you just stuck with me. No, I'll just play. All right, so basically, Anchor and Spotify, we had a nice deal going on. It was let's just say it was very lucrative as far as the process of me earning over on that platform. And now, of course, you can still look up my name on that platform, but they try to pull I don't even know another word for it. It's more like an okey doke. It's one of the things I was gonna talk about on social media, but I was like, bro, do people even care? Like, it's one of those things when you put that out and they'd be like, hey, we don't care that much. Like, keep going, So I didn't want to put it out, but basically, man, on not Black History Month, on MLK Day, they hit me with like a proposition. It was like I think it was called. It's like you either do this or you do that. It was either one thing was like I give them like 80% of my RPM, which for most people, like that's just ridiculous. And then also my video segments are exclusively to Spotify because they didn't like how I was putting it on YouTube and Twitch as well. And then when obviously I declined it, but in like a formal manner, of course, they hit me back with a strike. They was like, all right, well, we're going to take you down for this, and this. Granted, they never told me this, and this was a problem, or I would have took it down. And then when I told them, like, hey, it's no problem, I can just take it down. It was like, nah, we just basically, after I declined their deal, my channel mysteriously went down on Spotify. That's why, as far as the other apps, I took them down because when I put up this new podcast platform, I didn't want them to look up something and find my old content. But I did want to leave one avenue open, so if you want to listen to my old stuff. So that's all on Amazon Podcast. So if you go to Amazon Music and go to podcast, all my old episodes are on there. As far as the video segments, it's just audio on there because, of course, Spotify had my video segments. But now, with me streamlining the content, with everything going to YouTube and Twitch, now the whole thing will be more controllable on my end, and I won't have to basically I won't have to like bow down to whatever Spotify says. If they want to take me off on their platform, that's fine. I have my own host on Red Circle where I can post everywhere else. But yeah, they was playing. Hey, I guess it's a gift and a curse because I mean they noticed me, but at the same time it was just like they noticed me. They was like, oh, we can take advantage of them. And I was like, nah, never that. One thing about me is it's hard to take advantage of, and if you do, hey, just know you're probably like a mastermind in this game or whatever. But nah, it's as far as I know, I've never been completely taken advantage of for longer than because everybody gets taken advantage of, but for the most part, I don't feel like it's that easy to get over on me. So yeah. Now we're on Red Circle. There we go. 10 minutes in, I recapped everything. Now let's get into the episode. So for everybody wondering, why do we keep switching names while I'm on Red Circle now? I mean, of course, you can find me on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, a plethora of other podcast platforms. Like literally, if you go to my link tree in my bio right now, like as we speak, if you go to my link tree in my bio, you can look at my link tree, and then there's this tab that says podcast, right? There's this tab that says podcast, and then on that tab, you can be able to look at all the links that the podcast is available on. Because I wanted to make it in a way that when you look at it, it's more streamlined. The whole thing about this new update that I'm going on is about streamlining and putting things together. So let me see if I can find a example for y'all. Let me see. Oh, okay, yeah, here we go. So basically, can I show y'all this? I think I can show y'all this. It doesn't show me. It doesn't show anything too crazy. All right, so basically, right here, right? That's an image. How do I do this? Yeah, I don't know how to work my technology. That's crazy. My account. Ooh, we don't want to do that. Hold up, give me a second. I'm not trying to have nothing popping up. I wonder if y'all hear the dog from my neighbor. I swear that dog like barks nonstop. Like somebody needs to take care of that dog, but you know it's okay. It's all right. It's not gonna be me. So, anyways, let me bring up the link tree because we're only 12 minutes in. This is gonna be a long episode, so I'm not really too worried about time. Because like for my link tree, you know, whenever you look at links, it could be confusing for some people, but in general, I feel like they're pretty straightforward. So that's why I want to show this, because you know sometimes people be like, man, I don't even know how to work Linktree. Man, like what is that? You know? And for the most part, I mean, people get it. I mean, it's a bunch of links that makes it easier to find what platform that you usually use. But for the most part, you know, some people be acting like they don't even know what is going on. Oh man. So okay, yeah, here we go. Okay, so this is the only way I know how to show it because I don't know how to bring this up bigger. So I'm sorry for the tech savvy people out there wondering why I can't pull this up. Like, isn't this man a podcaster? So basically, you see this link right here? You're gonna click it, and then it's gonna. Oh my goodness. And then it's going to. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm so old, ain't I? I mean, if you're looking on YouTube and Twitch, you probably see me struggling. If you're listening to the audio, you're like, man, this man really struggling. But anyways, on right here, of course, you see Apple Podcasts, see my episodes, of course, and then if you keep going to the right, I mean, let me see all. Here we go. Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all these different platforms. Of course, Radio Public, Castbox, Overcast. I mean, they're all here for you. It's in one link. So you can click on it, and then all my platforms are there. So just know the conclusion to this whole this whole recap, because you know I haven't put out an episode in a while. I'm gonna keep reiterating that. That's why it's taking so long. Is that I want y'all to know that through my link tree, you will always be able to find me. Ain't that so sentimental? Anyways, all right, my bad, my fault. I done messed it up. All right, anyways, y'all probably don't care about that. All right, so yeah, my link tree is the easiest way to find me. No, you know what I mean? They can't blackball you if you have your own website for them to follow. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully Spotify does blackball me, because I'm not trying to be next Joe Budden. I feel like I did it in a professional way. But anyways, you know how that stuff go. Yeah, let's get into the episode. So for episode 114, we're going to be getting into the top 5 hip hop albums of 2022. The top 5 rappers of 2022, the best hip hop album and rapper. So this is gonna be like a spotlight type of segment for the ones who were the top of the albums and rappers list. And then to end it off, I'm gonna talk about the top 10 hip hop tracks of 2022. But of course, make sure to click my link tree in my bio to access my social medias and follow to keep up with my latest activities. If you want to financially support the show, click my Cash App link located towards the top of my link tree, as it helps the show overall. Also, make sure to share this podcast, rating the show 5 stars, as this helps the show reach more people so we can grow together and affect the masses. Also, make sure to click that bell icon for YouTube and Twitch watchers / listeners, as it will help you be notified when I go live. So anyways, let's get into the show. All right, and for the people listening live, that's usually when I edit it and get into the next segment. So this next segment is going to be the top hip hop albums, of course. But for the people listening live, that's when I usually take my breaks if I need to, I don't want to give you no TMI, but you know what breaks mean. You know what I mean? If I got to get up, eat, drink, you know what I mean? Do some other stuff, you know. Let me see, Notorious. I think that intro is pretty good, if I do say so myself. Because at the end of the day, I mean, when you're putting out content on all different platforms, it's kind of hard for them to kill you off when you're in a bunch of different lanes. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna stop my drive when I'm in a bunch of lanes? You know, like you got to shut the whole street down. That's hard. That's hard to do, man. It's hard to do. Nah, it's play. All right, let's get back into the episode. Where was we at? Top hip hop albums. Okay. I have a tier list. Y'all want to see this tier list? Hold up. This is only for y'all. Give me a second. Take that down. I feel like that was so ratchet. I don't even know why I had that picture up there. Anyways, look at my tier list. Y'all like it? Top 5 hip hop albums of 2022. And look at my selection down here. That's on a sneak peek for y'all. You know what I mean? I can't. Yeah, as I keep going, I can't really have it up there when I got to build the suspense in my segment. Let me see. I hope people listen to this live stream after the fact to see like the whole ins and outs of me going from segment to segment. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Nah, just joking. All right, normal view, presentation view. Okay. So we gotta make this bigger because that's showing my. I don't want it to show. I don't want it to show this right here. Oh, y'all can't see my cursor. Basically, I don't want it to show the little. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I don't want to show the selections. I want it to be more of a mystique type of thing. Okay, so how am I gonna... How am I going to put the image up without them seeing? I may just bring it over. Nah, because I'll mess it up. All right, so hopefully this works. I'm gonna start the segment and hopefully it works. As always, people tuning in live, just know that when I get into my segment mode, I would prefer the comments to be like on topic, but if not, after I finish my segment, I'll definitely address it. So yeah. So let's get into the top 5 hip hop albums of 2022. Now, the time has come to get into the top 5 hip hop albums of 2022. Now, I had to build a suspense. So, for the people over at YouTube and Twitch, in general, the live stream experience is a lot more different than the experience you're going to get on the audio platforms, which is no problem with that because, of course, y'all both are getting the same values out of it, the key values of it, but it's a little bit more for the live stream because you get to see the behind the scenes of how everything is set up, right? So basically, for this list, this is my criteria, and I had to write this down because I don't want people to think I'm just making stuff up. Because I've been a hip hop connoisseur for about 35 years. Nah, just playing. I'm only like 23. People don't even say their age no more, but I'm not that old, so I try to embrace it. But anyways, the criteria. All right, number 1, it's lyrics. Now that's the biggest criteria you need to know that I'm going with is lyrics. So all that mumbo jumbo, all that mumbling, all that switch on the Glock and I'll kill a person 10 times over. I'll spin the block twice like they ain't nowhere to park. Don't expect none of that on my list, okay? There's only lyrical, miracle, spiritual content in my top 5 list. And with that being said, of course, I got a little bit of kill them, spin the block twice like they ain't nowhere to park type, content in here because, as far as my number 5, we might as well get into it because, oh no, hold up. I ain't finished my criteria. Why y'all distracting me? Hold up, give me a second. Let me get back focused. I don't know why y'all distracted me like that. Anyways, yeah, I gotta blame y'all. It's okay. Number two, repeatability. Because repeatability for me has to be a factor, or else Black Thought will be on the top of every one of my lists. No disrespect to Black Thought, but there's nobody, I mean nobody, in their 20s driving to a party telling the homies to play that Black Thought. But we all acknowledge that he is a phenomenal rapper. All right, that's out the way. Criteria number three. This is it. This is all my criteria. This is all I need. Is different moods, aka vibes. Now, this is the one that gets a lot of people confused. What do you mean by different moods, aka vibes? What are you, a female? First off, that's offensive. But second off, I feel like for my favorite consumption type, that didn't make any sense. The best way I like to consume music is to listen to somebody who can change up the variety of music they give to me. And that's going to come up on a plethora of these reveals, because in general, a lot of people don't understand. Hold up. This is how I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a banner up. I was wondering how it's gonna be to hide the other selections, because I wanted to build this. I wanted to build the tension on the audio segment. Of course, on the video, they were the live stream. The people who was on the live stream was able to see what the candidates already have up, but they don't know what order I'm going there. But for the audio, y'all don't even know what candidates are. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Most of these have a variety of moods you can tap into. One of them, actually two of these, is very straightforward in the mood they give you, but I excuse it because, well, one of them I excuse it because of lyric content, which you can probably already guess who I'm going for as far as very high lyric content, but may not be as repeatable as some of these other artists. And in one of them, it's a complete opposite. The repeatability is on cloud nine, but of course the lyrics are some shoot 'em up, you know, I do drugs type music. You can probably already guess who's going to be on that list or who fits that criteria. Without further ado, now that I've got through my criteria, hopefully y'all understand my list. Number one, lyrics, repeatability, and different moods. So that means the variety. So if I'm at the gym, I can play your album. If I'm reading a book, I can play certain songs from your album. If I'm with a significant other, I can play certain songs from your album. If I'm with my parents, I can play certain, like, different moods helps repeatability for albums. That's why for most major label artists, they always have something for every type of listener. That's why a person like Lil Durk will get on his What Happened to Virgil tip and start singing, because, you know, of course, the girls like when the guys sing. All right, I think I broke it down pretty good. I wish I could put that up here, like my criteria, like right here in the top. I don't even, y'all definitely can't even see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I wish I could put criteria. I feel like that would help out a lot. Hold up. Okay, I just transitioned. Let me see. This is how I'm going to cover when I want to put some up. Okay. Can I just copy and paste my criteria? No, let me just type it out. You know what I mean? I did typing classes, you know what I mean? I am pretty quick with the typing, you know what I mean? Shout out to Grammarly, helping all college students cheat their way through English classes. All right, and then 3 different moods, aka vibes. All right, this is how we're gonna do it, because I don't feel like making this a whole big. I already customized all this other stuff, so this one's just got to be ratchetivity on the screen. Okay. How big can I make this? Oh my goodness, it went away. Hold up, I need it back. Okay, here we go. All right. Y'all want to talk about the weather? What's up with the weather being like 0 degrees? Anyways, let's get back to it. My bad. My fault. Just come out of nowhere with random. You know, somebody might be listening to this review wrap up in what's another place that's what's that place with the giant spiders? I mean, like the humongous spiders. I forget what that place is called. Is it Alaska? It's not Alaska. It's another place. It's like a humongous spiders. I'm so off topic. Let's get back into the. So basically, Um, can I put this at the bottom? Yo, I have no idea how to put this here. I wish I could just type on this. Like, why is there not an option to type? Enter, edit label text. Oh, let me do that. Please let me. Yeah. Okay. Add row below. Yeah. Cool. Let's do that. Okay. Oh wow, we definitely editing on the flow. You love to see it, man. You love to see it. All right, should I edit this part out? I ain't gonna lie. For the people listening live, I may reward y'all, man. Y'all podcasting people got to listen to it too, because there's a button there that most people know. It's like 15 to 30 second skip, and you can easily skip through this part. So, that's on y'all if y'all want to listen to me struggle. Okay, so that's one. And then let's change this to criteria. And then let's bring this back up because I'm definitely, once I type something once, I'm definitely not typing it again. Let's copy and paste that. That's how you work smarter, not harder. You know what I'm saying? It's a description. Edit label text. I guess it's the only way we ever do it. Okay. Let's make this a little bigger. Perfect. Criteria, lyrics, repeatability, different moves, aka vibes. Cool. All right, let me transition back because I'm definitely not trying to give away my candidates because that would be messed up. You know what I mean? It's not really the way I want to do this. All right, I made y'all wait long enough. Now y'all see how I edited this. You know what I mean? Hey, W Tech guy. You know what I'm saying? W Tech guy. But anyways, what was I about to say? Oh, now, I have to. I have to add number 5. So we're starting at number 5, okay? Of course, because we got to build up the tension or the expectation or the what's the word? We got to build up the tension, right? Anyways, we got to build up to the winner basically, because all these other people are just losers, and by losers I mean that in the nicest way possible. Because of course, we're starting with, and I know this is gonna shock some of y'all. We're starting with my main man Aubrey. So let me tell you something, man. Her Loss is obviously one of the best hip hop albums of 2022. But on the other hand, I cannot have it high on my list for top albums of 2022 because, like I said, the lyric content matters for me. And 21 Savage is just an artist full of double and triple entendres when it comes to killing people. Now, I know for some of y'all gangsters out there, y'all like, man, that's the greatest thing since Beethoven. For me, as a law-abiding citizen, I'm not trying to hear how somebody spun the block twice like there ain't nowhere to park. I'm not trying to hear somebody talk about if he was Will Smith in a hypothetical situation, he would have slapped Chris Rock with a stick. Now, 21 Savage said this over a beat. Might I add, it did sound nice, but for the most part, lyrical content matters to me, and that's why this is number 5. Because if it was just a Drake album, those sections where 21 Savage was rapping, I'm pretty sure Aubrey Graham, aka the GOAT, would have came up with some more substance-filled or substance-heavy lyrical value. So that's why it's on number 5 for me. But nonetheless, number five for my top hip hop albums of 2022 is Her Loss by Drake and 21 Savage, because this album, first off, let me, not get too crazy with it. The way that I pick albums is they have to have no skips. So this should go without saying. All of these projects I'm putting on here, in my personal opinion, has no skips. So for this album, I have to put this on here because the way that they came out on a collab album, I have to give 21 Savage some credit, because I don't think Drake would have been able to do this with any other artist. If Drake would have collabed with Lil Baby, they would have been comparing the Voice of the Heroes tape, and I don't feel like that would have held up in the light because Lil Baby and Lil Durk collab album to this day is still a classic. I don't care what nobody says. Like literally, the album from Lil Baby and Lil Durk, I think, is exponentially better than the album that Lil Baby and Gunna put out, and that had some bangers on it. I mean, some straight just classics on it. I mean, from a sales point wise, I feel like that Lil Baby and Gunna album to this day is one of the best selling collab projects. So sad that Gunna had to turn into Gunna-Tello, but of course for me, I don't care about that snitch life, but for gangsters that want to kill people, they be caring all about it. So yeah, Gunna's done apparently to them, to the streets. But for the most part, Drip Harder, was that the actual song name? Or, no, Drip Too Hard by Lil Baby and Gunna is one of the best tracks in this generation. Like of this generation, Drip Harder or Drip Too Hard by Lil Baby and Gunna is one of the best tracks of this generation. Why am I comparing that? Because the whole Drake and 21 Savage appeal, Drake couldn't have done that with any other artist around his level. Kodak Black already did something with Kendrick. Lil Durk, I mean, come on now. Lil Durk's been in the game for way too long. And that would have watered down Drake because in general, Lil Durk has put out a lot of music collabs with different artists. So he had to get some type of exclusivity with this artist, of course. Like what other collab tape have you heard from 21 Savage except the Offset one, Without Timing, and that one was straight fire. So who else? He couldn't have done it with Future. Future was just coming off I Never Liked You. People would have been like, oh, he's obviously trying to hop on Future's wave, because we're going to get to Future in a second. But I feel like he ran 2022 for hip hop, like just straight up. So 21 Savage to me was the only option. I mean, who else you have? Lil Yachty? I mean, come on now. Kodak Black already did something with Kendrick. Lil Baby. I mean, that man's on tour, not really caring about music quality. That's why his last album came out like that. Lil Durk, he's doing his own thing. Plus, he was literally brought into the fray by Drake. Like, there's a reason Drake has so many singles featuring Lil Durk, because Lil Durk was popping. But for the most part, 21 Savage was just the obvious choice. Going off Jimmy Crooks, going off Knife Talk, going off of what's the other one? Sneaking. Like, Drake and 21 Savage just don't miss. So I was glad to see this I was glad to see this come out and be as quality field as it was, because they could have definitely missed with this one, and they decided not to. And well, basically the GOAT decided not to, because in general, 21 Savage is usually one of those type of artists that's usually not for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like just the monotone talking about killing people every 2 seconds just not for me. So what else? Oh, and another reason this had to be on my list is because the sales was out of this world. I mean, what did they do? Like over 300,000 first week. Like, if I had to type it in, like Her Loss, I think it was the best selling album of no. Gunna's album, I think, was the best selling album, but Her Loss had the best first week. Let me see. In 21 Savage, let me see, first week, because in general people was like, oh yeah, honestly, Nevermind didn't sell as much as Kendrick's Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper, so that means Drake has fell off. So I feel like Drake needed this project. I mean, of course Drake's the GOAT, but when you put out a different genre of an album, no matter, I mean, you're the GOAT. So whenever we see the sales projections, I don't care if it's an album from a whole different genre. Like, we're gonna compare you to your competition, which was Kendrick, and Kendrick outsold him in the first week. So, but with Her Loss, with 21 Savage, it was the best first week for a hip hop album. I mean, what they had, like 400, I think it was 404,000 first week album sales. Like, come on now. Like, you can't really compete with that. Like, that's just like 404,000 first week sales, which is technically like 391,000 SEA units, equivalent to 513 million on-demand streams. Like, come on, man. Fourth largest streaming week of all time for any album. Like, Her Loss was just impactful on a whole different level. But the reason I have it on number 5 is because of the lyrical content from 21 Savage. I can't, bro. I'm not trying to kill nobody. I can't relate to his bars, but You know, Drake rapping about, you know what I mean? Hey, what he said, nah, let me chill. That's a little provocative. But let me just say he had a lot of bars that was very fitting if you are in the lane of dating. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Like which one? Hold up, nah. See, now y'all playing with the goat. Hold up, now I gotta bring it up. Y'all ain't even say nothing. I still think y'all playing with the goat. So let me bring this up because y'all tripping. So basically, let me see on this track. Cause I'm thinking about a specific track when I talk about lyrical content. I'm thinking about Hours in Silence. Oh yeah, hold up now. See, I have to spend this much time on the goat because I feel like he doesn't get his flowers. Like I feel like people just take his greatness for granted, kind of like LeBron, and people just act like another one of Drake is just gonna pop up when it's just like we're not gonna see it in this genre. Like that's not gonna happen. There's a reason why Drake and Eminem are the top selling artists in hip hop. I mean, the complexion for the protection, and people talking about little babies next up. Like yeah, all right. Like people talk about Jay-Z. Like you know how smart Jay-Z had to be to even be compared to Eminem as far as sales wise, like, and plus I don't even think Jay-Z compares in sales wise. So like accolades though, of course he's the most decorated hip hop artist because you know Grammys. Imagine them making Eminem the most decorated hip hop artist. They would just call them the every name in the book when it comes to being racist. So anyways, I gotta pull this up because this is ridiculous right here. Like this is just ridiculous. Hold up, here we go. So this is the GOAT, of course. Let me get to a second verse because this is when I knew this man was the GOAT. All right, watch this. This man said, okay, so my fault. Yeah, y'all know how I do it. For the people who listen to my album reviews, y'all gotta turn with me to the book of give me a second. The book of Hours in Silence. And then if you turn with me to let me see. If you turn with me to verse 4. Verse 4. Where do you even see that in other artists in today's age? Verse 4 of Hours in Silence. This man says, man, for goodness sakes, at this rate, your funeral is finna have like 10 caskets on display. One for you, the other 9 for everything you're taking to the grave. You don't play no games. There's 3 things I learned from love for free. Only thing really worth chasing is a dream. People don't know you play your roles on screen. Messy, started getting trendy, gotta keep it clean. And then he went on to say, all weapons formed against me, got a jam. Brought you round the dogs, treat you like the fam. You know how much you gotta like a girl to bring around your homies, but that's a whole nother conversation. Should have been a wham bam, thank you, man. Oh, okay, the whole thing went out of. Should have been a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I don't know what he was saying right there. Know you got my confidence on sale. Case you want to feel better about yourself. Now, I feel like he was saying, I know you got my confidence on sale, like a cellular phone, in case you want to feel better about yourself. But you know, genius, they don't really know hip hop lyrics. So they got sale right here. But anyways, for me, I feel like, no, you got my confidence on sale, in case you want to feel better about yourself. You know what I mean? Like you call it. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Whoever does these genius comments, like, were they a rapper? Did they ever like pen a verse, a 32, a 16, anything? Like, bro. Anyways, my bad. My fault. All right, let's get back into it. Let me make sure this don't. Okay, cool. It's still right there. All right. I don't want y'all to see the other albums I have up. All right, that's enough on Drake. We did like 20 minutes on Drake. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna give all these other artists that much praise because you know they're not Drake. But anyways, so number 4. Let's get into number 4. Give me a second. Transition. Okay, there we go. Number 4. Hold on. Let me look at my list because sometimes I'll be forgetting. Number 4. Now, this is the man that I said ran hip hop for 2022. So him being on this list so early might make some people upset. But let me just tell you right now, I don't care. Okay? Like I said with 21 Savage, I can't relate to the drug and the killing bars and the murderous venom that comes out of these people's mouth and the toxicity that comes out of most of these people's mouth. So for YouTube and Twitch, you already see it. But for my audio audience over on my podcast platforms, let me just tell you this. Future, I Never Liked You comes in number 4 for me for my top 5 albums of 2022. Now, I know what y'all saying. I Never Liked You by Future is the best album of 2022. I can already hear y'all saying it right now. And honestly, I would not disagree to somebody who says that. But personally, the pick I have for number 1 is very personal. Because this artist, for me, I just think he's the greatest. I'm not going to give it away. But for people who've listened to me talk in the past, I know that he's the greatest artist I've ever seen in my life. And I love the album he came with this year. Well, for 2022. So anyways, Future, I Never Liked You. I feel like the only reason it's not number 1 for me is one, because I know that rap album that I think is better. But the lyrics. The lyrical content is another thing that I keep bringing up. Like with 21 Savage, just like with Future. The subject is something I can't gravitate towards as a law-abiding citizen. I know that may sound corny for hip-hop listeners. Be like, oh, what you mean? You can't relate to killing a person. You can't relate to putting a price on his head. You can't relate to doing drugs and giving Shorty a perk. No, I can't. I can't at all. Like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's just one of those type of situations where the repeatability, which is in my criteria, is through the roof. Probably the best. Future, I Never Liked You, off of this whole list, has the best repeatability at the end of these albums. But lyrical content and the different moods, I don't think like is as substantial as the rest on this list, the rest of the projects on this list. Because of course, Future has Wait For You. Future has the other track when he's talking about he was like, you telling me I'm falling out of love with you. What's that track called? That one's fire. But he slows it down at points. But I'm just, as far as the variety, it's not as much as the projects that come after it. So, where is it at? It's not Stay Down. Is it Stay Down? I think it's like right after Love You. Yeah, it's called Love You Better. So Wait For You and Love You Better is back to back on the album for a reason. Like, he really slows the album down, then gets back on this kill, drill type of mentality, which, to be fair, Future's not on that type of timing like 21 Savage and Lil Durk as far as the always having that lyrical content being as aggressive. But for the most part, he's talking about money, lavish lifestyle. You know, I can relate to that type of stuff. But that's why it's number 4 ahead of Her Loss. So I think lyrically and quality-wise, he's definitely way better than 21 Savage. I'm not comparing the two quality-wise at all. The only reason he's not above the other 3 on the projects is simply because of the lyrics. And that's it. So, yeah, that's number 4 for me. So now let's get into number 3. Hopefully I did Future justice. You know, I feel like Future ran 2022, so I don't want that to be understated. Like, I think Future had the overall best-selling album of 2022. That's what I was looking at. The best overall selling album. Her Loss had the best first week sales, but Future, I Never Liked You, had the best overall sales of 2022. It was Future, then it was Gunna, and I think it was like Drake and 21 Savage with Her Loss. But anyways, let's keep going. All right. So for number 3, this may surprise some people. I don't think it will. Because if y'all heard my review, just go on Amazon Music right now, go to podcast and look up Rod Wave Beautiful Mind Review Notorious Mass Effect. Just type that in. Rod Wave Beautiful Mind Review by Notorious Mass Effect. You will understand why this album is coming number 3 on my list. This is a hip hop top 5 albums of 2022. And if you think that Rod Wave is not hip hop, then I don't think you've ever watched a Rod Wave interview. I don't think you've never seen him perform on stage. And you obviously haven't seen the artists he's been featuring on his albums. This man is a hip-hop connoisseur who just knows how to sing, but beautifully. Like, Rod Wave sonically is probably up there with The Weeknd as far as talent. So, Beautiful Mind for me is number 3 on my top 5 albums list of 2022, simply for the fact that the lyrical content, the repeatability, and the different moods all set it apart from the rest of the competition. If I had to put a little space between 1, 2, and 3 and the rest of the projects, I would put a space there because that's how much I feel like these next three projects are so much ahead of the competition that it wasn't even funny. Like the disrespect I hear being put on Rod Wave's name just simply because he won't do the outlandish stuff like film himself doing some crazy act just for views is just blasphemy. To quote Stephen A. Smith, this man is selling out arenas, and he's an up and coming artist. I mean, I can't even say the sky. Like the stars, the other planets are the limit for Rod Wave. You don't do arenas as an up and coming artist, and that's what Rod Wave is currently doing. So I think Beautiful Mind is just another showcase of how this man is just sonically and creativity and creatively just better than, of course, all his peers, but even some of the more veteran artists in the game. I'm talking about I mean, Usher's kind of retired, but the Neos of the world. I mean, he's retired too. There's really no. Oh, okay, so let me name some contemporary R&B artists. Brent Faiyaz of the world, the Divisions of the world. Who else? The Party Next Doors of the world. I think Rod Wave does their genre way better than them, and he doesn't even focus on the whole relationship part. He really focused on heartbreak more than anything. Of course, relationship is tied to that, but it's like heartbreak first, then relationship. Which for Brent Faiyaz, for Party Next Door, all of those are like relationship, then maybe some heartbreak. But for Rod Wave, it's like heartbreak, space, then relationships. So it's like Juice World type music, honestly. The subject matter. So yeah, I mean, anyway, anytime I compare artists to Juice WRLD, like he's gonna make it high on my list. So, anyways, number 3 comes in at Rod Wave, Beautiful Mind. So, anyways, number 2. Now I know y'all want to know the runner up, and as a Drake stan, this hurt my heart, man. This hurt my heart because once again, in the same year, I have to put this man ahead of the GOAT, and y'all already know who I'm talking about when I say it. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, aka Kendrick Lamar, is probably one of the best hip hop albums I've heard in a while. Content wise, it's very, very heavy. Lyrically, is leaps and bounds above any project on this list. It's the other two that makes it fall off at number 2 for me. And you got to know how high I keep this artist regarded as far as lyrical content to have it number 2 based off my other 2 criterias on the list. Repeatability in different moods. I feel like Kendrick has never been as diverse as his peers when it came to that. But lyrically, it's like comparing apples to oranges. Kendrick Lamar lyrically is one of the best rappers I've ever heard. He's on my top 5 rappers list of like best rappers list of all time. Of course, he's above Drake, which hurts my heart to say, but he is. There's let me run through my list because I don't think I've told you on my list before. My list is all time. It's Jay-Z number 1, of course. Notorious B.I.G. number 2. Kendrick Lamar number 3. So I have him at number 3. Number 4, Tupac. And then, of course, I had to put Drake at number 5. He's the GOAT, so I had to put him in there. Anyways, that's how highly I regard Kendrick Lamar as a lyrical genius. Like, I have him up there with some of the greatest of all time, lyrically. It's just when it comes to repeatability, and when it comes to different mood sets, Kendrick is just not as diverse as his other artists in the game. But lyrically, that's why he's number 2 on this list. Like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is a clinic on how to put words together for a 16, for a 32, for a whole album. So, anyways. So that's number 2 on my list. And then, oh man, y'all ready for this? Y'all not ready for this. I feel like I really got to explain this one because y'all not gonna understand. This is probably the biggest, in stories when they have like a plot twist and stuff. This is probably the biggest plot twist as far as the whole review goes. I have Chris Brown, Breezy, as the best hip hop album of 2022. Now I know what y'all saying right now. Hold on, let me get my soundboard because Especially, I don't have a boo soundboard. Hold up, I'm about to look that up. I'm gonna look this up just for y'all because I know some of the women listening to my podcast right now. It's just like, how could you, like, you just like if y'all get locked up, I don't even care no more. Like y'all just co-signing this abuser. Which first off, nobody's co-signing abuser, but well, I guess it's no but. No. I guess there is a but. Um, After that person does what is it, serves his debt to society, of course, because there's one thing, right? And of course I'm not going to get canceled because I'm going to explain this pretty thoroughly. um you have a debt to society, and then you have a forever debt to the victim. So you have a debt to society which you can pay off with a set amount of time. Then your victim, you're forever indebted to that victim. So I forgave Chris Brown when Rihanna forgave Chris Brown. And I know what y'all can say. Oh, abusive relationships don't work like that. The abused victim always takes the abuser back. Which, granted, I do understand that. But as far as a icon like Rihanna, I'm pretty sure she has probably the best mentors in her circle. Well, if not, then I stand corrected. But I think she's doing pretty well in life. So for her to take it upon herself, because they wasn't advising for that. It was like, nah, forget him forever. That's probably what all her friends were saying. But she came out herself and forgave that man. And years later down the line, she could just said that and then not said anything else. Years later down the line, she had his music blasting in the background while promoting her Fenty products. So once she forgave him, I forgave him. So that's how that happens. Okay. Hold up. Yeah, I still ain't forget about it. Let me see, sound effect. Yeah, I'm still gonna boo myself. You know what I mean? It's okay. You know what I mean? It's all right. Hold up. Let me see how this gonna sound. Yeah, did y'all hear that? I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like a continuous boo. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, that was just like a abrupt boo. Oh, here we go. Crowd booing. Here we go. Here we go. This look. I can already hear it right now. Hey, throw your tomatoes. Hey, throw your tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the man off of SpongeBob. I feel like Squidward off of that SpongeBob episode. But you know what? I ain't gotta take that because it's my platform. Now just play. All right, my fault. It was a little egotistical, but you know what I mean. Y'all get what I'm saying. This is my personal opinion. I feel like Chris Brown Breezy is not by far, but is the best album of 2022. I would go as far as to say that this is my favorite Chris Brown album of all time, and I'm a huge Chris Brown fan. Like I'm humongous Chris Brown fan. Like y'all think I'm a Drake fan, but the only reason I can't really be as much of a Chris Brown fan because his man off the field antics. If this was an athlete, this would be comparable to like Antonio Brown's a little bit too much, but this would be comparable to Kyrie. Yes, perfect. This would be comparable to Kyrie. Chris Brown is the Kyrie of the music industry. He just got in his own way, but he could have had everything that the next person who looked like who did his craft could have had. No, I can't talk. Basically, they was comparing this man to Michael Jackson after he beat up Rihanna. Guess what comparison stopped after he put hands on Rihanna? The Michael Jackson comparisons. But I feel like if he would have conducted himself like a law-abiding human, he could have been one of the biggest of all time. And for him to put his hands on Rihanna and still have this longevity as an artist, as a musician, I feel like that takes the cake as far as him being one of the best artists of all time. In my opinion, personally, I think Chris Brown is by far and away the most talented artist I've ever seen. So, and albums like Chris Brown expanded edition in 2005. Of course, those got classics. People can say Fame is probably a classic. People say Fortune. I mean, it was a Chris Brown album. Heartbreak on a full moon. What else? Graffiti. I'm not going in order, but basically, there's a lot of other albums you could say that Chris Brown put out as a classic. I would probably say 2005 and 2007 is probably the strongest argument. But as far as Breezy, it may not be sales wise, but sonically from top to bottom, lyrically, the repeatability and the different moods that he has throughout this whole album is all in one. There's something for the R&B connoisseurs. There's something for the hip hop connoisseurs. I mean, there's even something for the lyrical connoisseurs. I mean, he has Lil Wayne on one of his tracks, and then he will turn around and have a person like ESTG, which no disrespect to ESTG. I like listening to him. I heard his last project. I liked it. But as far as the lyrical content is not as heavy as Lil Wayne. So he gave us a lot of different lanes. I mean, no pun intended, because he did have Tory Lanez on his album, but which is a bad combination. A bad combination. Like, come on, man. Like, who is Chris Brown's PR team? But anyways, yeah, man. Then you got the likes of Wizkid, her. I mean, the different moods and the repeatability set this apart for me from Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, because I thought long and hard about putting Kendrick Lamar's album at number one for me. But at the end of the day, I can't put an album at number one that I cannot play at different, like, try playing Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in the gym. You know what I'm playing in the gym when I listen to Breezy? I'm playing I can play so many tracks off of here. Oh, Catch a Body with Fabio Foreign. Like, I mean, like, if that's not, you know, fast paced, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. Oh, Taste. Well, I think it should be called Taste, but the track with ESTG called like, what type of, but like like, what type of name for that is for, like, who names a track Like, it's a sound effect, not a name. Like, I don't understand. I think it should have been called Taste, but that's besides the point. Psychic with Jack Harlow was fire. Like, imagine getting a fire track at a Jack Harlow. That's how you know Chris Brown was cooking up. Especially in 2022, that man was mediocre at best. Lil Durk. The first track off the album. I mean, you start that. Well, play the first track off of Breezy, and you understand why I have it at number one. That's all I gotta say. So, anyways, that's my whole wrap up of the top 5 hip hop albums of 2022. And let me just tell you something. As you can see, I'm a hip hop connoisseur, but that's why I always say with a little bit of R&B mixed in, because I really enjoy listening to R&B. Obviously, 3 of the tracks off of this top 5 is hip hop tracks, but for the most part, the R&B tracks is what really gravitates towards me. That's why the top 2, oh no, not top 2, and there's 2 in the top 3 of my list. And just to compare it, I mean, if we looked at last year, of course, I had Drake number 1. I had a lot of hip hop last year. The only thing I didn't have was Rod Wave again at number 4 with Soulfly. But for the most part, I had Drake, Kanye, J. Cole, and Baby Keem. So, you know, I feel like I listen to a lot of music. So it's like, personally, I can think in my mental Rolodex and go through all the songs I listen to, because I keep notes of all of them. Like, it's nothing that will skip past me. It'd be like, oh, did you listen to that? Yep. Did you listen to that? Yep. And it was not as good as Breezy. It was not as good as Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and certainly not as good as Beautiful Mind. And of course, Future, I Never Liked You, Drake and 21 Savage, Her Loss. Like, all these albums will stand the test of time, in my opinion, 5 years from now. But we'll see. You know, of course, you never know, man. Drake may come out gay, and people may stop listening to his music, because you know how that is. You know how hip hop is with being gay. You know what I mean? They just, like, the amount of homophobic content in hip hop is just absurd. And this is from a straight male, so they just outlandish with it. Like, if I gotta say something, like, man, if Lil Nas X ain't been shamed for his sexuality, I mean, people literally coming out saying he faking. Like, you know what I mean? If that's not disrespect, I don't know what is. Anyways, let me see. All right. So, I don't know. I'm gonna leave that up to us, because that's basically it. Okay. So now let's switch it up. Now we're gonna get into, which is a whole different list. We're gonna get into the top 5 rappers of 2022. All right. For the people listening live, that was definitely a long segment. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that list was pretty good. What y'all think? For people tuning in live, what y'all think? Y'all think that was a good list? Y'all think it was trash? mediocre, basura. Let me look over on Twitch, see who we have. On YouTube, I wish I could look at the names, but I can't. Oh, we have some other people who stopped by. Alici Dra. I think I just said Drop Snap. Stream Fur. Stream Farer. Well, I can't pronounce that. Come on now. I appreciate you tuning out though. I appreciate you checking out the stream. For the people over at YouTube, let me see. Is there people over there? I never know who's over on my live streams. Oh yeah, there are people over here. That's cool. Hey, you can always comment in the chat if you have something to say. If not, that's okay. This is a safe space. I'm not gonna kick you out for not commenting, but I mean, if you don't mind, could like the video, share, subscribe, stuff like that. YouTube's doing really well, in general. All right. All right, let's get into the next segment. Without further ado. Oh, I guess I gotta pull up the next segment, huh? It's just not gonna do it itself. I don't think it works like that. All right. I think the tier maker really put things in perspective. I think it did. I had to use my I used the record scratch. I think I did, but I had to use my phone more often for these segments because my YouTube slow. I mean, not my YouTube. My laptop slows all the way down when I start streaming. I don't know why. Like, am I just pushing it too hard? I mean, obviously it doesn't drop frames or anything, so I guess that's the main thing, but I don't know why it does that. Okay. So we're gonna bring up the other list, and then we're gonna get into the top 5 rappers, because for the most part, I think this is gonna be the one that does it. Like, once I put this on my podcast platforms and other social medias and stuff, like, this was gonna be the one that gets people because I have some pretty not outlandish, but I have some pretty significant outliers in my own list. It's not just who you think it would be. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different people that you probably wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe judging off my I don't know, man. Judging off my main albums of or my top 5 albums of 2022, you could probably already tell. But anyways, let me pull this up. So this is my top 5 rappers of 2022. Y'all can't see my cursor. Y'all can't even see the. Hold up. L Tech guy, man. L Tech guy. All right, there we go. Y'all should be able to see it now. All right. So yeah, basically the top 5 rappers of 2022. This is my candidates right here. Of course, y'all can already guess which who could probably go number 1 and stuff like that, judging by my top 5 albums. But as you can see, there's 3 new faces in there. So I'm not biased. I try to give a lot of people they shine. You know what I mean? Because when this goes up, of course you want to have unique opinions, and this is definitely my personal opinion, as you will see soon once I can pull this up. Where's it at? All right, give me a second. Bring this back over here. Where's the professional view? That's what I'm looking for. Alignment chart. Let me see. Save, download. Presentation mode. Wow, it's like blended in. You can barely even see that. Okay, what color we want to go for this? Let's do. Hold on. Go back. Let's do. Can I change the color? Yeah, there we go. I wish I had more colors to choose from. Is that it? Let's do blue this time. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. All right, let's get into it. Bro, I just changed the background. Come on now. All right, there we go. All right, yeah, I should be able to see it now. Sorry for that. That was a whole intermission. And of course, I got to hide the candidates so I can build suspense on my podcast platform. Speaking of my other platforms, I did this thing where I started scheduling content. That was the best thing ever. I did not know that was a feature. I was manually posting stuff every single time. Only thing with that is, I like to support videos that's doing well in the algorithm. So the only thing with that is I'm not gonna be as hands on. Like if one video is doing better than the video I posted before it, then I'm gonna take that video off if it's not performing well. I want the algorithm just to promote the ones that are doing well. So that's the only thing with not being able to be as hands on. All right, should we do the criteria for this? Probably should do that again. Okay, so let me add a row below. Here we go. Is that the same color? I think it is. I don't know if y'all know, but I'm probably colorblind, so some of this stuff is just like I don't know. I don't know what color some of this is. Y'all watching me edit this on the fly. Cool. Let's zoom this out. Now we can't see the whole thing. Alrighty, let's get into it. Now, when it comes to lyrical content, these are some of the artists that had the most quality out of any other in the field, any other rappers in the field. 2022 is one of those type of years where a lot of rappers was getting by just name dropping people that they have allegedly killed or had killed, to the point where people was thinking the demise of hip hop was here because that's all the kids wanted to listen to nowadays. They wanted to hear Who I Smoked, and they wanted to hear I Will Slide for Vaughn, or more notoriously, when Lil Durk literally said on his track called Mad Max with Future, just in case the FBI is listening. Lil Durk specifically said, I called Young Thug. First off, he said I could have been on that Rico. I called Young Thug and told him every expletive I shot, and that expletive was filled with the N-word. So, anyways, for the most part, Lil Durk won't be on this list at all. Anyways, get into my criteria, right? So, hold up, did y'all see that? Y'all definitely saw that. Okay, hopefully y'all didn't. Don't be cheating now. Don't. If you're watching the video version, don't replay it. Okay, that was my fault. I wanted to get into. I mean, it's okay if you see the candidates, but for the most part, I'm trying to. I guess it's okay if you see it. I don't know. But what was I getting to? I lost my train of thought because I tried to move something I shouldn't have. Oh yeah, my criteria. Okay, so my criteria for the top 5 rappers of 2022. And of course, for the people tuning in live, you know, it's a safe space. You can always comment. I would prefer it to be on subject. If not, I can address until like after the segment. But there's lyrics, repeatability, and different moods. So lyrics for this one is going to be the most heavy criteria. Repeatability and different moods, not so much, because of some of the people who's on this list. It's very, I'm not saying one track, but it's not as diverse as some of the artists on this list, the other artists on this list. So without further ado, let's get into number 5, because I don't want to build the suspense too much, and then y'all be like, man, why are we not getting to it? But anyways, okay, so this may shock some of y'all. This gonna be the first and maybe the only plot twist of the rankings. I have Cordae as number 5 on my top 5 rappers list of 2022. Now, before y'all say anything, I need y'all to know that Cordae does not get enough flowers in this hip hop industry. Now, personally, it's nothing to be ashamed of, but I feel like it's because of the delivery. You know what I mean? My man's may have skipped a couple Uno sessions and speech therapy, but for the most part, it's okay because his rapping ability is on par with some of the greatest in the game right now. The way that this man puts words together should not be understated. And I feel like dialect is the right word. His dialect is what keeps people hesitant to listen to more of his music, because no matter what y'all say, there's nobody that's gonna pick a UK artist over an American artist, simply for the fact that every time they rap, they're just reminded of I'm not gonna say that, but basically the rapping in broken English. Okay, it's not one of those things where you listen to somebody else who doesn't speak your native tongue. That only works if you're like Bad Bunny, and he's out of this world. So come on now. Um, but yeah, also this may be cheating a little bit, but his last single he just gave us, which currently his last single or his latest release is 210s featuring Anderson .Paak, which is in 2023. So I'm not going to use that for this argument. What I'm saying is this man is filled with lyrical content and he's still going. But from a bird's eye view, he even came out and stated on Twitter that he felt like he let the fans down because he was on like a 4-hour drive. You can look this up. Actually, should I bring this up? I feel like I bring this up every time I talk about Cordae. And I feel like it's a nice point because I try to defend this man, but he makes it so hard because he just trashes his own work. Like, who I've never seen a rapper. I think that's why he gets his rap. I've never seen a rapper trash his own work ever in life. And for Cordae, he did just that. This man tweeted out, like literally, like he took it upon himself to stop by. I don't know what type of gas station y'all have. To stop by Come and Go, to stop by Hy-Vee, to stop by Dillon's, to stop by, you know, the local 7-Eleven. And he was basically got him some snacks and then went on a road trip. Now, what did he do on this road trip, you might ask? He said out of his mouth, and this was ridiculous. Like, I can't believe he said this. Oh wait, no, this is another tweet. Come on now. Give me a second. I'm trying to find this. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Cordae said himself, this is not it. What in the world? Cordae tweets about bad project from. I tried to tee that up, man. That didn't work. You know what I mean? When your laptop's just behind you, you know, it can't catch up. Cordae reflects. Okay, hopefully this has the tweet because I am not gonna look up any more things. I'm just gonna act like if y'all just think I'm lying, hey, it just may be that. Nah, just play it. Let me see. Path to stardom. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay, it's cool. I can't find it. So, anyways, this man basically tweeted out that he went on a 4-hour trip and he basically said, my bad, y'all. I messed up with From a Bird's Eye View he listened to Lost Boy and From a Bird's Eye View back to back and said he messed up. I gotta find this now, bro. Every time I try to find something, like, especially for the people watching on video, like, I just feel like I owe it to them to find it. Like, if I say I'm gonna find something, I'm gonna find it. Let me see. I'm not gonna take too much time. Probably give it 30 more seconds, and I'm just gonna chalk it up to maybe I'm just lying, man. Forget it. Cordae view power. I gotta tweet this in verbatim, like literally verbatim. Okay. All right, I gave it 30 seconds. I can't find it. I guess I'm just, I guess that completely stumped me because I thought I was gonna find it. That's crazy. But anyways, okay, so basically Corday said that Lost Boy was better than From a Bird's Eye View, which I feel like is why he gets his rap of being a trash rapper. Because if he's gonna say himself that he's not putting out his greatest lyrical content currently, then why would anybody else say it? Like, why would anybody else say that? Thank you. Finally, man. I thought I was going insane. I found it. I found it. I found it, man. I thought I was good. I was really, man. I wanted to quote him verbatim because this is why people look at him the way he does. Oh, he took it down. That's great. Look at this. Since y'all think I'm not, well, no, not. So y'all think I'm not joking. So y'all think I'm not crazy. Look, he took it down. So somebody must have told him, like, bro, you can't be posting stuff like that. Like, how you want your fans to think it's good if you don't think it's good? Like, music is subjective. Whether it's bad or good, you should not come out and co-sign either one. Well, I mean, you should co-sign if it's good. You know, be like, hey, I appreciate y'all like it. I put a lot of effort. But if it's bad, you'd be like, man, I just, come back. But don't be like, oh, it's trash. So basically, here it is. So, they had the tweet up here, but of course he took it down because his management probably told him like how he supposed to market an album that you're actively saying is trash. So like literally that's what he did. So he said he went on a road trip. Here we go, and then he said quote, and then here's the Instagram post that you can't look. Let me do it. Let me do it on stream. So you can't open it because look, you can't open it because he probably took it down. But basically, he said quote, yo. So I just drove a little 4-hour. Hold up. Give me a second. Can I? Nah. I was wondering if I can copy and paste it. I can't. Okay, so I just drove on a little 4-hour trip and listened to both my albums from front to back. And he wrote, and expletive, I must say it's most definitely the Lost Boy for Bev, which is From a Bird's Eye View. I know, weird acronym. I know. My bad, y'all. I'm gonna do better next time. I got something to prove. So if this man is saying that he's not putting out his best lyrical content currently, then why would his fans come out and be like, "Oh, he's just one of the greatest rappers of," or he had one of the greatest performances of 2022? I mean, he already just said himself that this man thinks his debut album was better than the sophomore album. Which, granted, if you want to say that, then okay, but like, bro, you got people who like your album. Like, From a Bird's Eye View, I feel like is an actual good album. Like, I don't understand like who told this man to come out and say that the laws, and this is why I'm spending so much time on it, because I feel like Corday gets disrespected so much. I think this is kind of why. Like, I mean, not it's probably like 30-40% of the reason. Most of the reason I think is because of the way he speaks, but or the way he raps, not speaks, because as a person I feel like he's one of the more honorable people we have from a literally from a bird's eye view, like from the outside looking in. But anyways, I feel like Corday is definitely top 5 when it comes to lyricists in this game, and the only reason he even gets played with like this because he says quotes like this, and people don't even take him serious. Because why would they take you serious if you don't even take your own art form serious? Like, if you don't even take From a Bird's Eye View serious, whether it's bad or not, like, you can't come out and say it's bad, like, at all. Like, I don't think I've ever. I'm not even exaggerating. I don't think I've ever seen a rapper do that. Like, maybe they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna come harder next time," but they don't be like, "This is way better than that." Like, that's just like, come on now. Especially not your last project. Like, how much pressure are you putting yourself for your next project? Like, come on now, it's too much. So that's why Corday's going there. He would have been higher on my list, but I feel like that just in general that just hurts him a lot. Because some of these other people I'm putting above him, notably one of these guys on this list hasn't even put out a full body of work, and I still have him higher than Corday, and we're gonna get to that. So, anyways, but before that, let's get into number 4. So number 4 for my top 5 rappers of 2022 is, and as a Drake stan, it hurts my heart to say this. I'm gonna be saying this a lot, because even though he's below the GOAT, like, even though he's below the GOAT, I still feel like it hurts my soul to see this man make my top 5 rappers list. And I'm not biased. So I understand what good music is. Of course, music is subjective, but personally, I feel like this man put out some undeniable music with his Pharrell and Kanye West produced project. I mean, imagine having those two producing your album. Like, I hope something sounds good. But anyways, enough of me hating. It's almost dry. Could be considered the best album of 2022 subjectively. Of course, like, because all of this is subjective. But Pusha T unfortunately made my list, man. Pusha T. Hold on, what's my boot sound effect? Do I still have that? Let me see if I can find this. See if I can bring up my boot sound effect. I brought up my boot sound effect when I was crowning Chris Brown as the best album of 2022. This how I feel about this how I really feel about Pusha T. Every time I think of Pusha T, every time I hear Diet Coke, every time I hear a Pharrell and Kanye West produced track, basically just backpacking Pusha T to the finish line. Then he had Jay-Z on Neck and Wrist. Then he had Kanye West, Dreams Are Past. Then he had Lil Uzi Vert and Don Toliver. Like, come on, man. Like, how often do you need to get carried on your own project? Like, seriously. Remind you the fact that this whole album is produced by Pharrell and Kanye West. All right, let me cut that off. I say all that to say, the lyrical content is still pretty outstanding. It's a masterclass of how to put words together. Pusha T has been for quite some time now one of the best rappers in the game, and he may not be top 5 overall, definitely not even top 10, not even top 20. But as far as 2022, you have to acknowledge it's almost dry as one of the best bodies of work when it comes to lyrical content. Even though this man's talking about a kilo of coke like it's the second thing to, like, it's the second coming to sliced bread, he's still giving us lyrical content that we can consume forever. Anyways, this man made number 4 on my list, I guess. I was just so sad to put that on there, because it was like, I try not to be biased, and hopefully that shows, man. Hopefully that shows. If it doesn't, if after this it don't show, then I don't know what does, man. Cause, and then speaking of not being biased, hold up, yeah, I don't want to hear nothing. Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing else about me being biased. Speaking of number 3, I don't want to hear anything else about me being biased, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not want to put this man on my list. But then, you know what did it? Because when I talked about Corday, I talked about having a guy over him that has not put out a body of work in that same year, and I still have him over him as a rapper. You know why? Because it's Jermaine Cole. This man gave us some of the most iconic singles of 2022, and I think he only put out like 3 features. This man put out Johnny P's Caddy when he just left Earth. Like, okay, hold up, we gotta do another read along. I usually don't do this, only hold this type of respect for the GOAT. But Johnny P's Caddy, the way it starts off, will make you think that J. Cole was writing the 10 Commandments, the way he was going off on this verse, because his pen must have literally just burst into flames, like, as soon as he started writing this verse, because this was insanity. Like this was really insanity. Like, the way he put this together is just, this should never happen, okay? Like, this type of stuff should never happen. If I was Benny the Butcher, I would have told you to get out of my studio and come back when you have a slightly worse verse than me, okay? Don't come back with something that just blows my verse out of the water. Don't come back here with some, on the night I was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying. Oh, and for my YouTube and Twitch people, you can see it now. Lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying. Like, he knew what he was doing. Like, who comes on a beat like that ever? The real ones here, the young boy that walk with lions around the outlines of chalk where the corpses. Nah, if I was Benny Butcher, man, we gotta scrap. We gotta fight. You gotta, like, I may not be able to whip you in the booth, but I can whip you with these hands. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't finna be doing this to me. So, anyways, Johnny P's Caddy is probably the sole reason this man made this list. But I don't want to disrespect Cole like he only made this, right? So, there's also a track. Let me see if I can find it. Goodness, London with J. Cole and Bia. When I tell y'all, this is one of the best tracks of 2022. It would have made my, spoiler alert, it doesn't make my list, but solely because I think I have J. Cole on another one. Or maybe I just took him off completely. My top 10 tracks was pretty competitive because that's when the Lil Durks, the Young Boys came in, because, you know, that's more of my repeatability type of criteria. But as far, man, Navy just popped up. They really want you to join the army. But anyways, yeah, okay, let me throw this next one up here. Okay, so I just sent it to my laptop. Oh man, that makes stuff so much easier. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, so basically, all right, so right here, when you have, no, I'm not. I'm going to the end of his verse because he went crazy. The end of his verse. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. What's the Cabernet or a Cabernet line? But I thought, yeah, y'all want to hear how like novice I am in wine drinking. I thought this bar right here, copping this, copping that, I'm proper capitalistic. I thought he was saying copping this Cabernet. I like a wine, like the wine. That's not how you pronounce it at all. I was told you pronounce it Cabernet. You know, I was on a date, so I guess that makes up for it. But I was told it's pronounced Cabernet, and let's just say that joke definitely landed. But let's keep going. So copping this, copping that. I'm proper capitalistic. Dreamer, running the game in my signature sneakers. Oh, signature trainers. I guess same thing. Balenciaga for joggers. I might just wear Crocs at the O2 Arena. He's basically playing off the fact that I think Bia is British, so he came through with like a British type of slang for his verse, which out of left field, right? But this is Jermaine at this point. Splendid, got no limits. Should have had a tank on my pendant. Blokes going broke. Is blokes a cuss word? I ain't trying to be cussing. I don't care what language it is. This is a PG podcast. But anyways, let's keep going. Blokes going broke, trying to keep up with Cole, but I make it back soon as I spend it. Maybach tinted. Excuse me, sir, but ain't that rented? It's a genuine question. I am offended. Straight cash for my Benzes. Get this broke boy out of my sight. Anyways, let's keep going. We don't pay back interest. Aim at fences. When I swing, pay respects and kiss my ring. Even Elizabeth, you know, I gotta pronounce that stuff. You get killed for that. Said I'm king. And then in the parentheses, he went to his whole Elizabeth. Like, you know how confident you have to be in your voice just to start imitating a queen of England, like just off the bat, just off some freestyle and stuff. Like, oh, let me just imitate her in this little ad lib. Like, what? Anyways, let's keep going. Why would I choose between this one or that one when I know that I can have both? Now, Jermaine, you know that gets you in trouble. All right, so I'm just gonna go past that bar, but I see what you're doing right here. You're trying to get us. You know, black men don't cheat. First off, and technically, he didn't say he was in a relationship when he had two of them. So, you know, the jury's still out on that. But anyways, let's just get past that, because ain't nobody trying to get caught up. You know what I mean? I'll laugh at these rappers for capping. I guess TIP ain't the only one out here with jokes. Mans don't want smoke. And then he went back into his Elizabeth imitation one more time and said, I just don't understand. I don't even think they should be allowed to breathe the same air as him, if you ask me. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Those two tracks alone let you know that this man Jermaine Cole is something else, man. This man's a monstrosity of a rapper, And even though I do say he's audio NyQuil, for those 2 tracks, he completely left Earth, and that's why he made my list. And because of course he had Scared Money as well with Moneybagg Yo, but that was more of a braggadocious type of track where him and Moneybagg Yo was just talking about random stuff. So that track was fantastic. But yeah, so that's why J. Cole's on my list, man. So, all y'all who say I'm Jermaine Cole haters, what I mean? He still makes audio NyQuil. I ain't apologizing for that, but he is a great rapper. So the lyrical content is definitely there. But at number 2, this whole list really hurts my heart because I feel like Cordae on one hand is not getting respected enough. Pusha T, I don't like how much respect he's earned. Jermaine Cole, I mean, why is he even on this list? But I guess because he did go off on London and Johnny P's Caddy. But this next person should be number 1 in my criteria every single year. But the sole reason he's not is because that dude dropped. Now, I'm going to drop them. I'm not going to drop them back to back because you already know who's going to be number 1 by me revealing number 2. But it's okay. Let's just do it anyway. This is going to be a quick one. So basically, of course, the GOAT, Aubrey Graham, is number 2 on my top 5 rappers of 2022. Now, y'all probably wondering, why would Champagne Papi, the man who profile picture you just used as a very zesty image, let me just say this, I feel like in 2023, we have to be more accepting of people's experiences, what they allow, what they prefer. You know what I'm saying? As far as the genre of hip hop, man, we just forever doomed to be misogynistic and homophobic. Like literally homophobic. I'm not, of course, but hip hop is. Just like I listen to rappers who kill people. I don't kill people. I listen to rappers be homophobic. I'm not homophobic. You know what I mean? It's pretty simple. So just to get that out the way. But anyways, what's he doing? Oh yeah, so Drake. The reason I have him on here is because of that track he had off of Her Loss called what was it? Middle of the Ocean? Oh yeah, here we go. After Drake made Middle of the Ocean, I felt like this man could have been number 1 if it wasn't for another rapper. Y'all probably already know what it is. But anyways, let me do a little read along. Because if I did a read along for Jermaine Cole, I'm definitely getting some read alongs off for the GOAT. So anyways, let me see if I can find this. Okay. Oh, I love how my phone can just send it to my laptop. I did not know that. I literally just found that out. That's crazy. Hey, live life on the fly, I guess. Here we go. Let's go to the bottom. No. First off. Nah, forget that. Drake said, so if you turn with me to Middle of the Ocean, written by Drake, and to the intro, and it reads, I'm in the Masoni room at the Bibelos. The boat was rocking too much on some Aaliyah expletive, for real. We're going from a Vava to sequence, back to the Vava. If you know, you know. Baby girl, I don't know what to tell you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't never talked like that. You know what I mean? I don't got enough money to talk like that. So I like repeating that from the Drake because, it made me feel like, I was saying that, but, it's cool. We're just gonna move on. Let's just, put a pin in that. So basically, Drake is basically hating all throughout this track. Straight hating, straight boasting, bragging, all that type of stuff. Just, hey, you got a party boat. I don't remember last time I did that. You know what I mean? What else? He said something crazy. He came out of left field. Like he was literally on a certain topic, right? In his verse. And this track was so long that he just said, forget that. I'm getting back on this dude's head. So he came out of nowhere, like left field. Like way out of left field, like some Barry Bonds type left field type stuff. Like just hit the ball right out of left field. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not good with the baseball analogies. But basically, this man said, where's it at? Oh yeah. This man was literally talking about like expensive stuff, like TV Gucci, my ring. Oh no, Cousin Spooky. I got contracts that look like a script from a movie. What else? Out of pocket, checking y'all for 5 years, kicking into high gear, glass clinking from wine cheers. Like this man's just talking about lavish, extravagances, right? And then this man comes out of left field and just said, "Hey, hold up, Serena, your husband's a groupie. Like, just out of left field. Like, I was like, whoa. Like, that took a left turn. This man just out of nowhere talking about TVs, wine, his contract being a script from a movie, and it just comes out of left field. He's just like, hey, by the way, hold up, I forgot something. Serena, your husband's a groupie. I don't know where that came from. I ain't gonna lie. That makes me understand the needle drop type of critiques when he was like, Drake is insecure. Because who just thinks of that mid verse? Like, bro, I'm talking about extravagant things in my life. And in the midst of that, I'm like, wait, hold up. I really don't like that one dude that's with Serena. Like, he didn't even say his name. He said, Serena, your husband's a groupie. And then he said, this what really put me at this is why I really put him on the list, right? He said, we might pop up on him. No, forget all that. My bad. I messed up. He claimed we don't got a problem, but no boo, it is. Like, you coming for sushi. Now, if that's not the most double entendre Drake bar I've ever heard in my life, because basically you're hating on the dude for taking his woman to Nobu, but you're also being zesty on the other hand, which is a Drake stamp at this point for being, you know, hey, teach his own, but for being very out there. He said, no boo, it is. Like, he was a woman, no boo, you know what I mean? No boo, we ain't going there, you know what I mean? No girl, no boo. Like, no boo boo, we don't do that, stuff like that. I don't talk like that, but I've heard it before. So anyways, he said, no boo, it is. Like, you coming for sushi, knowing what he's saying. We might pop up on him will, like Suzuki, Kawasaki, and then this is when he left Earth, because he's still doing the whole Asian restaurant entendre, right? But he's making it in a way that is relationship advice. Kawasaki, sushi, sake, the money grow on trees like shiitake. I don't know. They try to give me spicy with miso. Like, y'all know what miso is. Like, come on now. Like, they try to get spicy with miso, talking about Serena's husband. He's still talking about her husband, by the way. He's not off of that. Like, that's why I said this was a whole tangent. Then he said, so I wonder how they gonna stop me. I'm really on a roll like Hamachi. The expletive, would y'all really do without me? Not gonna lie, I ask myself every day, Drake, what we gonna do without you? That's like asking like yourself what you gonna do when LeBron retires. Like, who you gonna watch? Like Luka? Like, come on, man. Watch a snail play basketball instead of watching LeBron. Like, come on, man. It's not that hard. So I don't know what I'm gonna do when Drake retires, but hopefully it's not soon, because I feel like hip hop is less intensive on the legs. But that's even out the window, because Drake and tore his ACL trying to play basketball. So I don't know, man. Drake's is doing what he wants at this point, but I respect it, because he's the GOAT. So anyways, that's why he's number 2 on my list. Because this next dude, I've always said is just leaps and bounds. It shouldn't even be like, hold up, I'm just gonna show y'all. I'm just gonna do it in front of y'all. Hold up. Like, it shouldn't even be like, y'all know who number 1. Like, it shouldn't even be it's not even a contest. It's really not even a contest. Like, at this point, like, Kendrick's the best rapper we've had for decades at this point, and it's like Jay-Z, all them. At this point, Kendrick's the best rapper breathing at this point, like, by far. Like, all the, how you be like, oh, the NBA's filled with the best basketball players ever, but there's always that one who's better than everybody to ever touch a basketball, which is LeBron James. Kendrick Lamar is a lyrical version of that. There's nobody who can touch Kendrick when it comes to lyricism, like, at all. Like, it's to the point where I feel like Kendrick, if he wanted to, like, literally if he wanted to, he could put out a diss track to every other artist and they wouldn't say a word. Oh, wait. He already did that with Control. See? Hey, my fault. You know what I mean? Y'all thought I was slipping, huh? Y'all thought, well, he did do that. Now, I know he did. Yeah, nobody's messing with Kendrick lyrically. So that's basically it. Kendrick Lamar is by far the best rapper of 2022. And 5-year hiatus and all, because I know I gotta include it, because if y'all have heard me in the past talk about Kanye taking a break, Kendrick taking a break, but I still acknowledge that this man, when he does want to rap, he's the best in it ever. Like, not best ever, of course, because I have Jay-Z overall at number 1, but for right now, for the past 10 to 20 years, Kendrick Lamar has been the best rapper ever. So hopefully he can continue it up. Right now, my top 5, of course, of all time, I guess I could repeat that since we're at the end of this list, is my top. So this is my top 5 of all time. My top 10. Well, let's just do my top 10, because since you made it this far, I might as well say it. So my top 10 rappers of all time, right? It's Jay-Z, number 1, of course. Notorious B.I.G., number 2. I mean, y'all see my logo for my podcast. Number 3, Kendrick Lamar. That's how high I regard this man as a lyricist. Number 4 is Tupac, of course. Can't be disrespectful. Anything under 5 for Tupac, I feel like it's just discredited. Like, it's just very discredited. But anyways, Drake, I had to be biased, man. I had to put the GOAT in there. So Drake at number 5. Nas at number 6, of course. Eminem, because, you know, I had to have somebody to hold it down for the white boys, and who did it better than Eminem? Andre 3000 at number 8, because, of course, that man raps like he's just, like, it's really like a poetry slam sometimes. Lil Wayne, number 9, because if it was Impact, Lil Wayne would be number 1 on this list by far. I mean, he's the one who gave us Nicki and Drake. Like, come on now. And then number 10, which may be a little left field for some people, but Ice Cube. So that's my top 10 of rappers of all time. You can see there's not too many modern day artists on here, because I feel like for rappers back in the day, it was more about the lyrical content. Nowadays, it's more about shouting "who I smoke" and then saying the actual name of a person you killed, allegedly. So anyways, but this is my current list for top 5 rappers of 2022. We have Kendrick Lamar, we have Drake, we have Jermaine Cole, we have Pusha T, then we have Cordae. Once again, we have Kendrick, which is by far the best. Drake, Jermaine Cole, Pusha T, and Cordae. So click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think, or who do you think was the best rapper of 2022? And what is your criteria for choosing the best rapper? Now we're going to get into the honorary segment, aka Spotlight Edition, which is highlighting the best hip hop album and rapper of 2022. Wow, that was way too loud. Okay, hold up. Why is that so loud? What's this on right now? I was on 54. That's why it's so loud. Okay, that makes sense. All right, that's good. All right, for the people listening live, that's usually when I edit stuff and everything. So I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back to finish up with the best hip hop album and rapper, and then we finish with the best tracks. So we almost done, but I'm definitely gonna take a little break. Of course, make sure to follow my social medias in the bottom middle if you enjoyed this so far. Make sure to leave a like. A like on YouTube for the people who are on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe, share this, and also follow my social medias, man. Yeah, some of them going crazy, you know what I mean? You may find something you like. So anyways, I'm going to play a little royalty-free music, and I will get back into my wrap-up when I return. All right, all right, all right. All right, let's get back into it. Where we at? Best hip hop album and rappers. Oh yeah, we can do that. I do gotta go pretty soon, so probably need to wrap this up. How long I've been on stream? I've been on stream for a good minute. I will look at my other socials, but I can do that with my free time. I am crunched for time. I do have about like 40 minutes. I could probably at the most. So yeah, let's go and get these segments out the way. Okay. Best hip hop album and rapper. I think for this time I just have both the pictures up. Let's just do that. So yeah, let's take that off. And let me see. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Put that right there. What to say? How's that look? Can we open that up as a photo? Hold on now. Oh no, that's not it. This one's opening. Hold on, can we duplicate this? We can't. Okay, that's great. Wow, that's just terrible. All right, let me get Safari. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. And then try to put it up a little bit. Cool. Let me see how that looks on here. It looks alright. Alright, that's how we're gonna do it because I don't have any other idea how to put all those on the screen. Alright, let's get into the last two segments. Try to wrap up everything. Okay. The best hip hop album and rapper of 2022. Hopefully you've already seen or listened to, depending on if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or if you're listening on my podcast platforms. Nonetheless, my pick for best album of 2022, because of my criteria, which, you know, if I have to repeat, hold up, let me find it. I know if every segment, it will be nice to repeat it. It is my criteria. Once I find it, you know, it takes a little bit. Okay. My criteria is 1, lyrics, 2, repeatability, and 3, different moods, aka vibes. Now, for the third one, it gets some people confused. It basically means that the project has a lot of different flavors on the album. It can slow it up, it can speed up the tempo, have R&B songs, have hip hop songs. That's why, for me, Chris Brown Breezy is the best album of 2022. Hold up. My bad. Give me a second. I'm messing up. All right, let's try this again. That's why Chris Brown Breezy is my favorite album of 2022. There we go. There we go. We love to see it. We love the crowd interaction. You know what I'm saying? We love to hear it. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Because now we gotta get to our next one. Best rapper of 2022, by far and away. I know he took a 5-year hiatus. I know he was acting like Patrick Starr. You know what I mean? Imagining he was under a rock, not connected with society. But the truth of the matter is, he was actively writing for Baby Keem. I think we all know that. And at this situation, at this moment in time, we have to acknowledge the fact that this man is by far and away the best rapper that we've had for the past 2 decades. And I feel like Kendrick Lamar is so superior than these other rappers in the game. That's why you've never heard a diss track sent towards Kendrick's address. Like, you've never seen a diss track and they put the address to Kendrick Lamar, because they understand the vitriol and the lyrical exercise and fun that Kendrick would probably have with any of these rappers in the field today. Okay, so after that we have. Oh, that was it. Okay, so best hip hop album and rapper has now been revealed for me. My personal picks for 2022. I forgot to say this at the beginning of the episode, but the reason I'm doing this recap so close, no, yeah, so close to the Grammys, and after 2022, like a month after, is because I wanted it to be close to the Grammys. Hopefully, I didn't say that and confuse y'all too much. But basically, the reason why I'm doing this now is because we're getting to the Grammys, so people are going to start reminiscing on what the actual best music was in hip hop. And so when these awards come out, obviously, I think Jay-Z, God did, is going to clean up. But we're just going to act like my personal list is going to be like one of the things that people may listen to when they go back to reminisce on 2022. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm putting it out so close to Grammy week. Just one of those SEO type tips. All right. Anyways, so I think Chris Brown is by far and away put out the best album of 2022. And I think Kendrick Lamar was by far and away the best rapper of 2022. And I think it's kind of disrespectful. I don't think Chris Brown's Breezy was by far and away the best album, because Kendrick Lamar's album I was going to put up there, but like my criteria says, it has repeatability and different moods. Repeatability for Kendrick Lamar has been a struggle as far as me, because like, who really goes to a party with the homies and they be like, hey man, play that new Kendrick? I've never heard that. I've heard play that new Dirk, play that Lil Baby, definitely play that Young Boy, man. They play Young Boy like he going out of style. Like, you would have thought, nah, let me chill. Basically, they play the younger artists way more when they go on to certain events, because it's like replayability is on cloud 9. And for Chris Brown, I feel like he hit the more of a middle ground than Kendrick did with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Even though lyrically Kendrick Lamar surpasses any of these projects on my list, repeatability wise and the variety, which is aka different moods, I feel like Chris Brown's Breezy is by far and away the best album. As far as Kendrick being the best rapper, I mean, it's really nothing to get into. I mean, this man literally said, just say Candyman and I promise you he'll appear. And guess who said Candyman? Not a soul rapper in sight. So, and he put out Control, this in the industry, and guess who dropped a diss track on him because of that? Oh, that's right, nobody. So no, everybody knows Kendrick's him, and nobody wants to go against him lyrically. I mean, what was that one guy? Lupe Fiasco, I think he tried to go against Kendrick. And I saw how that ended up. So yeah, it's really a career ender. I was gonna use another word, but it's probably a trigger warning. It's really career ender going against Kendrick. So yeah, that's all I have. It's nothing too crazy. I just wanted to put a highlight segment out for Chris Brown, Kendrick Lamar. Just not congratulating, but just personally highlighting the impact they had in my life in 2022. These two artists put out what I think is the best quality music of 2022 when it comes to hip hop. So yeah, so that's basically it. Now we're gonna get into the top 10 hip hop tracks of 2022. All right. Forgot to stop recording last time, so I have like 2 of them. All right, so for my tracks, we got 20, 30. So I could probably end around 35. So 2, 3. I probably have like 20 minutes to talk about this. 20 to 25 minutes if I still want to get dressed. Oh man, don't you just love having responsibilities? Anyways, let me take this off. I have another list for tier makers, of course, because I came prepared. All right, so this one's of course gonna be 10 tracks, but it's not gonna be as long because it's just one track. Like I was breaking down entire albums for one of the segments, so let me see. As y'all can see, my candidates and stuff for top tracks of the year. These will have some of the newer school artists in it. Not to say the others didn't, but this has more of the in line with the hey bro, play this or play that. This is more of those type tracks. Um mm, 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 mm. All right, I need that. I don't, I gotta copy and paste. I can't do that. All right. Oh, why does it keep going away? All right, there you go. I was getting upset. My bad. My fault. I'm gonna tighten up. Let me see. Change background color. What do we want to do this time? We want to do black. Black's too. It's too dark. Let's do that one. Yeah, that works. Goodness. Now this looks gonna be kind of. I feel like these rows are for like multiple like things like to go this way, but I'm only putting one, so it's like 1 to 10. But anyways, I guess it gets the job done either way. 50, that's just way too much. Can I just manually put in? No. No, that just totally messed everything up. What is it? F11? F11? Do I even have that? I don't see no F11. I'm so old. Um, oh, I see it. Shift 11. Okay. Yeah, I did not know how to get at that. That was almost bad. Oh wait, this works. There we go. When we get to 10, we can take our criteria because they would have seen it enough by then. All right. Let me see. Make sure for the people tuning in live, make sure to follow my social medias in the bottom middle. Hold on, let me make sure to put that up. Because in general, that's where you're gonna see all of my social media posts and platforms, and that's how you keep up with me and what I'm up to. But for the most part, let's get into it. Now, when it comes to putting out music, these are the best tracks when it comes to hip hop in 2022. Like, there's a lot of music that gets put out a lot in hip hop, but there's only one that stands out above the fray and it's pretty ahead of everything else. Like at first I was gonna put it at number 2 because of course you know my favorite album of the year if you've watched my other segments, but if not, we're gonna keep the suspense up, so I'm not gonna say it. But for the most part, it was gonna be a song off that album, but this track alone is just too heavy as far as quality to not put it number 1. And as we get into it, you'll probably see what I'm saying in a second. So let me see. Okay, yeah. So basically, as you can see, for the people over at YouTube and Twitch, we have this tier list, which helps you guys visualize where we're at in the list. Okay, for the people listening live, you just have to follow along audioly, but audioly, is that even a word? Audioly, that's funny. Yeah, my fault. All right, so now that y'all see have I went over the criteria? Okay, so all the other segments I went over the criteria, but basically, I have 3 different things when it comes to my criteria. 1 is lyrics, 2 is repeatability, and 3 is different moods, aka vibes. Now, the third one always gets people confused because they don't know what I'm talking about. Basically, right? Different moods, aka vibes, is like if you slow down a track, if you speed up the tempo of a track, if you have an R&B, if you have a hip hop type track, it's like a good variety, a good palette of music instead of just one tempo talking about the same subject over and over and over and over. Because if that was my criteria, then all of these little babies of the world and little Dirks of the world will always have the best album for me, and that's just not for me. Like I need lyrical content. That's why the number one will be, if you know rap, you probably already know what track's gonna be number one for me based off me enjoying lyrical content. So anyways, let's go into number 10 because this is going to surprise a lot of people, okay? Let me make sure. This is going to surprise a lot of people. So you're not going to be able to see the criteria anymore. But you will see what I just placed at number 10, which is, oh, hold on, let me move my socials, which is NBA YoungBoy Colors. And what track am I talking about? I'm talking about I Got This by NBA YoungBoy, because if you listen to the track, you will understand that this man gave us so many quotables on the track that was just out of this world. Really made me, it made me think that YoungBoy had a ghostwriter until I saw him on live with another fellow rapper, Blueface, and it was talking, and he was talking just like he rapped. I was like, oh, this man really writes his own raps, or else it seems like it. I mean, usually I feel like it's easier to tell. Like Lil Baby definitely doesn't write his own raps. I mean, if you seen him in an interview, he may be a little, you know what I mean? He may not be all there, but you know, hey, he's one of the top selling rappers in the game, so you gotta respect him. But anyways, as far as YoungBoy, he talks like he raps, which is a good and a bad thing if you know what he be saying sometimes. But anyways, so I Got This, right? This is one of the things that stood out to me on Colors, because as far as all the different 20 million different albums he put out, it didn't really capture me. But this is what captured me right here, right? So as you can see on the screen, this man said on this track, I Got This from Colors, right? He said, oh wait, hold on, I gotta do it the right way, you know what I mean? I can't cheat the system. So if you turn to I Got This by NBA YoungBoy, and then if you turn with me to verse 3, what artist do you know that's putting another verse on the album? As far as, no, not another verse. Okay, there's a bunch of them, but I'm talking about what artists do you know out here putting 3 to 4 verses on one track, right? So YoungBoy, this is one of the most toxic quotes I've ever heard in my life. I'm not even joking. Future, Jay-Z, Kendrick, Drake, I've never heard them say nothing as toxic as this. I mean, Future got close, okay? Future did say one time, I cheat on you, you cheat on me, you ain't loyal. And that's kind of what YoungBoy is still saying, but he says it in a much more intricate and more versatile and just overall more impactful way, okay? This man said, this is wild. I ain't gonna lie, this is wild. Let me see if I can find this. I know it's on this track. Reading this on Genius is so hard. And also hearing this dog bark is just like insane. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. All right, I found it. Oh man, this is wild. I've never heard no toxicity like this ever in my life from a hip hop musician. YoungBoy said, "I be keeping God inside my head while the devil holding my feet." Now, first off, that's a bar. Second off, let's keep going. Like expletive, because I'm not trying to get canceled. You cheat on me, you will never get forgiveness from me. Now I need y'all to write this down. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've never said this about none of these mumble rappers, but you gotta write this down from YoungBoy, because this is some of the most poetic words I've seen placed at another word as dramatic as I can be about one lyric, this is as dramatic as I will get about any of these tracks. This man said, NBA Youngboy, you will never get forgiveness from me, cause I be knowing that I'm wrong, but you know, you who I need. Now let me repeat that. You will never get forgiveness from me, cause I be knowing that I'm wrong, and you know, you who I need. Now that ain't the most toxic bar I've ever heard in my life. Like basically it's saying that you be knowing that I mess up, but you know that you're the only person that can help me not mess up. Like what type of toxicity are we talking about? This man just took the cake with that. So yeah, that's why this is number track. This is why this is number 10 on my top 10 tracks of 2022. Obviously, it's not solely because of that. Basically, this track is like what, like 30 minutes long. Like this track is very long. This track is very long. But for the most part, yeah, Youngboy, it just went ballistic on that track. I think it's like 4 minutes and 13. I don't know. It's long. It's a long track. Like 6 minutes maybe. I don't know. Anyways, all right, let's get to number 9. So for number 9 on my top 10 tracks of 2022, of course I got The Boy, because I'm gonna keep putting her, not The Boy. Okay, my bad. He don't deserve that nickname, but he is even my boy. That's like a pause. Let's just say the homie. Let's do the homie. Oh, whoa, hold up, chill. Hey, yo, not just playing. Let me chill. All right, basically, Cordae is next on my list because Chronicles is one of the best tracks from a different moods type of style. And what I mean by that is you literally have the best of all worlds. And there's a reason why I didn't say the best of both worlds. You have, was it SZA? I think it was her. Nah, let me not disrespect her. It was her. And then he had Lil Durk on the track. And then you have Cordae. So you have the lyrical content from Cordae. You have the hood street aspect from Lil Durk, which is still rapping. And then you have the R&B side with her, which to me culminates to one of the best tracks of 2022. So that's all. That's all I got. That's why it's on this list. I mean, that's just one of the best combinations of artists I've ever seen. And for Cordae to pull that off, it gives me the inclination that this man could be a hip hop manager one day, because that was a tough collab he pulled off, because that combination of melodies and vocals was just A1. So anyways, for number 8, let me see. For number 8, who did I have at number 8? I have a list. That's why I keep going to. Oh. Oh yeah, that boy. Yeah, you already know. Gotta put respect on him, man. Hold on. Gotta put respect on his name, cause young boy may be better, but guess who else better? I ain't gonna lie to you, Yak better. Now I know that didn't stick, because even when Kodak said it didn't stick. But there's a reason for that, because Kodak has been around for so long that he's the embodiment of his own impact. Like he just impacts hip hop in a way that I've never seen another artist impact it. Like as far as 21 Savage being the best, no. Was Lil Baby in his class? No. Okay, I think 21 was. People would say Denzel Curry is the best rapper out of that class, but I would say Kodak Black has the best impact and is one of the top rappers of that class, with him, 21, Uzi, all of them. Like Kodak is one of the most influential artists from his class, I think, in my opinion, because I feel like Uzi, no disrespect to Uzi, I feel like he's more of a rendition of Playboi Carti. I don't know which one came first, so maybe that's disrespectful. I'm pretty sure Playboi Carti came first. I don't know. But anyways, I feel like Kendrick is one of the more I feel like Kodak is one of the more influential artists of his time, which is why Kendrick used him for like most of his album, because, well, not use him in a bad way, but just, had him assist his project, because he knew Kodak Black's creative vision is unlike any other. So that's why Kodak Black's Let Me Know is on here. So this album that I put up here is Back for Everything, and the track Let Me Know, which I believe is the first track off the album. And the reason why I have that is because one of the things he said on the track was when they talk about he should have had a Grammy for that best new artist when they gave it to Khalid. But then he talks about how he's not, he's not really tripping over it because if Cardi B wins, then he wins too. I do it for the real ones, and that makes them feel like they won too. Stuff like that. Like he went on like a a run on that track. It was really fire, and that whole album is fire. Like that album was gonna end up on my list, but the lyrical content for me and the repeatability just wasn't on par with some of the other albums on the list. But yeah, Let Me Know by Kodak Black is definitely one of the better tracks of off of the album. Okay, so for number 7, we have okay. Yeah, this is the easy one right here. This is the easy one. I'm not gonna. This is wild. All right, so basically, y'all know that Kanye West is one of his little tirade, right? So I thought about taking this out. Like I really contemplated taking this off, but this track is just so reminiscent of the original New York State of Mind that I had to put this on here. So the track City of Gods by Kanye West, Fabio Foreign, and Alicia Keys is just so great as a body of work. Not a body of work. It's so complete as a track that I just had to put this on here. So that's all I'm gonna say because I know, the Kanye's supposed to be canceled and all that other stuff. So anyways, let's keep going. All right, for number 6, we have I keep messing up the transitions. My fault. My fault for the people at YouTube and Twitch. Basically, Rod Wave put out this album that was completely full of poetic gems and poetic justice. And Alone is what I think is the best track off of Rod Wave Beautiful Mind. Now, some other people may disagree, but for me, the album was so fire. That's why I was on my top 3 albums list of 2022 that you could replace any track right here and I believe it will be cemented in my list. Like this is just the Beautiful Mind album as a whole. Any track from that album I feel like was just top tier in the top 10 top 10 list. So you can replace that with any track off that album. But for me, I'm picking Alone by Rod Wave. So that's my number 6 off my list. All right, and now for number 5. We're getting into the top 5. We're about to wrap it up. So basically, I know what y'all probably thinking. We about to get into some crazy takes, aren't we? Nah, not really. We get into more of the same, kind of staying on the Rod Wave tip, pause. The Weeknd featuring 21 Savage with Creepin'. Now, the whole remixing of an iconic track could go 2 ways. It could go either really, really bad or it can go really bad. Because for the most part, when you're singing over an iconic sample, it's not going to be taken well because you've seen what happened with Fetty Wap and Yams, and you saw like how that impacted society. People was like, bro, no, you gotta leave that to the others. But for the most part, if you use it as a sample, like if you speed it up or slow it down and then sing a whole different song over it, then that's fine. But if you just BPM, same tone, everything, and just try to sing better than the person, usually it doesn't go in your favor. But for this one, it was a slight single exception because for the most part, The Weeknd is one of the best vocalists I've ever seen, like with the mic. So Creepin' by The Weeknd and 21 Savage made my list. And also, one of my other criterias is that the same artist can't be on the list twice. So that means no Drake and 21 Savage for this list. So I'm sorry to inform y'all that Drake did make my list because, of course, how could I leave the boy off of my list? All I had to do was just take 21 Savage off, and that wasn't hard because he did it himself with Middle of the Ocean. He was like, 21 Savage, get out the way. Full ISO on me. I'm dropping 40 every time I come down the court, which I know is not possible, but for the boy, anything's possible, literally. So anyways, Middle of the Ocean, he reminded everybody why they're broke and not on his level for a whole I don't know how long it was, but it was like 4 minutes and 52 seconds, something like that, something crazy. He went for a while on the track. The Middle of the Ocean is one of the best tracks of 2022 by far, and just one of the best displays of lyrical exercise in on the track. So for number 3, I'm kind of getting through these now because I have individual reviews for these. If you want to hear my individual reviews of these albums, make sure to go to my Amazon Music, go to podcast, and then type in Notorious, Mass Effect, and whatever album you want to hear, and then review, and then it should pop up. So on Amazon Music, and then go to podcast. So that's basically where I keep all my old catalog now. All right, for number 3, we have for number 3. Am I tripping? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I have 11? I think I had 11 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nah, it's 10. All right, something needs to get cut. Something definitely didn't make this. Future got to cut. That's tough. Future did get cut. Well, I mean, I did have him as one of the best albums of 2022, so I guess that made up for it. But as far as a whole, I feel like some of these tracks are just better overall. So let me see. Okay, let's do this. So for the most part, Kendrick was supposed to be here. Kendrick was supposed to be here at number 3. I was gonna put Savior. So Savior right here. I don't know if I can find an image and crop it out, and I don't know if that whole thing works. That doesn't work like that. But basically, Kendrick's gonna be in number 3. Savior is one of the best tracks, one of the best hip hop solo. No. It is the best hip hop solo track of 2022. So that should give you a hint on how the rest of the list is going to go. But for the most part, Kendrick Lamar with Savior is the best solo hip hop track of 2022. Okay. Now for number 2. For number 2, I went back and forth from 1 and 2, but I had to stick to Breezy with Forbidden. Now, y'all probably wondering, because this is the most out of left field pick I'm gonna have throughout this whole. No, probably Corday was probably up there, but I think this is the most out of left field pick that I'm probably gonna have. Because Corday as a rapper, you know what I mean, people like understand, but Forbidden by Chris Brown, they don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, you gotta listen to that track and then come back and just tell me you're sorry. You know what I mean? Just be like, I didn't know you knew music like that. I didn't know you had taste like that. Like, that was just fire. From start to finish, Chris Brown is putting on his best. I mean, his best Michael Jackson impersonation. And Forbidden is just one of the tracks that makes you think about the things, the heights that Chris Brown could have took his career to if he didn't have certain stuff outside of music that he did that he did to himself, basically. So Forbidden is one of those type of tracks that made you realize Chris Brown could have been way bigger than what he is now, but hey, you know what I mean, couldn't get out of his own way. So anyways, Forbidden is number 2 on my list because of just the soul embodiment of Michael Jackson throughout the whole track, which is uncanny, and I've never seen it before from an artist. And I would keep repeating that Chris Brown is the best artist I've ever seen in life, like the most talented artist I've ever seen in life. All right, number 1. Let's get to number 1. And number 1, the best track of hip hop 2022 by my criteria, you should already know who I'm gonna pick. They call him H to the Izzo, and they also call him Hove. But what they really renown and hold to the highest regard is that man, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. So basically, God Did is about to clean up at the Grammys like you've never seen before. This should definitely come out way before the Grammys happen. So I'm just predicting it right now. God Did is gonna clean up. I mean, I think maybe every category it may win. Like, literally, you would never, ever, ever, I'm saying ever, get a track with Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick. You'll never get a track like that, ever. Not like this. Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Rick Ross. While Rick Ross is not in that top 10 echelon, he's still up there as one of the best rappers. And they are both rapping over a slowed down beat where bars is just highlighted. And they both put up like LeBron, Kyrie type game when they both went off for 41 points in the against the Warriors. But basically with this one, you know, Jay-Z left a little bit of more loop on the beat so he can get some more bars off. But I still feel like Lil Wayne held his own. But because of how long Jay-Z rap, I mean, you just know that this by far was just the best display of lyrical exercise we've seen in a long time when it comes to hip hop. And that's why God Did, produced by DJ Khaled, featuring Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, John Legend, Friday, and Jay-Z, is one of the best tracks, literally one of the best hip hop tracks of all time. And it will clean up at the Grammys. I'm confident in predicting it will clean up at the Grammys. So this is my top 10 hip hop tracks list of 2022. At the end of the day, of course, all these lists are subjective, and I'm just giving my personal opinion. I'm pretty passionate about hip hop, as you can probably tell. I could have went longer, but you know, your boy got places to be, I guess. Not just funny. I do have places to be, but so that's my wrap up. Getting into the overview of the pod, we had the top 5 hip hop albums of 2022. For number 1, we had Breezy by Chris Brown. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar, Beautiful Mind by Rod Wave, I Never Liked You by Future, Her Loss by Drake and 21 Savage. So basically, Breezy by Chris Brown was my favorite hip hop album of 2022. Then we got to the top 5 rappers of 2022, and we had Cordae at number 5, had Pusha T at number 4, J. Cole at number 3, Drake, the GOAT, at number 2, and Kendrick Lamar at number 1. And I know what you're saying. How can you say Drake's the GOAT when you have him at number 2? Was because lyrically, which is what rapping's all about, I feel like Kendrick, it just surpasses his peers by just a huge gap. But artistically, I feel like Drake is better than Kendrick, so that's why I call him the GOAT. And sales wise, but you know, hey, we ain't getting to that right now. But then we got into a highlight spotlight type of segment with best hip hop album and rapper of 2022. So I got more in depth on Chris Brown and Kendrick Lamar and how they impacted my 2022. Then I finished with the top 10 hip hop tracks of 2022 with God Did, produced by DJ Khaled, featuring Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, and the singers of the track was John Legend and Friday. And then, of course, the last lyrical feature was Jay-Z, who went ballistic on that track, like literally a Hall of Fame type performance. Number 2, we have Forbidden by Chris Brown. Number 3, we have Savior by Kendrick Lamar. Number 4, we had Middle of the Ocean by Drake. Number 5, we had Creepin' by The Weeknd and 21 Savage. Number 6, we had Alone by Rod Wave. Number 7, we had City of Gods by Kanye West, Fabio Foreign, and Alicia Keys. Number 8, we had Let Me Know by Kodak Black. Number 9, we had Chronicles with Cordae, Her, and Lil Durk. And number 10, we had I Got This by NBA Youngboy. So with all that being said, with that hip hop, hold up, where did I put this? What did I title this? With this 2022 best hip hop year in wrap up, make sure, I done lost my place again. Make sure to keep tuning in to the Notorious Mass Effect podcast via my Linktree in my bio. And also follow my social medias in the bottom middle, as that's the best way to keep up on my social media activities. And if you want to support the show financially, click my Cash App link located towards the top of my Linktree. I think it's towards the bottom now, but it does help the show overall, because of course, if you looked at my past reviews to now, the quality is definitely improved, objectively and subjectively, in my opinion. Make sure to share this podcast and rate this 5 stars on whatever platform you are currently listening on, as this helps the show reach more people so we can grow together and affect the masses. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Notorious Mass Effect. Alrighty, I think that was pretty good, and I have enough time to get to where I need to go. So I appreciate everybody tuning in live. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed that whole segment. I ain't gonna lie to you, that was a lot. I could have kept going, but duty calls. Got to take care of responsibilities because you know what I mean. Hey, stuff ain't gonna pay for itself. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, what was I gonna say? I appreciate y'all tuning in live. I definitely gotta go. Let me see what else. Yeah, that's basically it. Follow my social medias in the bottom middle. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, of course. Spotify, still beefing with y'all, but it's okay. We gon' well, I'm gonna be all right because of course I got other platforms. But for the most part, y'all hopefully y'all chill out. You know what I mean? Don't try to blackball a brother. Don't do me like y'all did Joe Budden. You know what I mean? I just want to add my deal. That's all. But it's whatever. Until next time, I'll be able to talk more lengthier. Pause. That's definitely a pause. Hey yo. Basically, I'll be able to talk more in length. Wow, I just can't stop. Later. Basically, I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm probably gonna be recording more often now that I have this setup out the way. I have everything laid as far as the foundation of Analytic Dreams and all my social platforms. So until next time, I'm out.